All right, guys, welcome to another episode of What Time Is It? Jeff Reese, joined by Chuck Majorana, and I am super excited today. I've been waiting for this one for a while. Who the hell are you?
Oh, thank you. That's quite flattering. I've been waiting for it even longer, and I appreciate you guys having me. I am Nick Masington, and I guess in this world, I am the owner of Rat Pack Fighting Systems out in Palmerton, Pennsylvania, and I am the president of Incosi Promotions, which is a local MMA promotion company, which I'm sure we'll discuss a little bit. And that's my involvement with this world.
All right.
I guess that's my identity. And I guess to a lot of people, I'm D-Boy's dad.
And I was going to say, beyond that, family man.
Of course.
Practitioner of law. We have a lot. Don't undersell yourself, Nick. You are an interesting individual. You're one of my. I don't get along with a lot of people outside of my immediate people.
Right, yeah.
Nick is one of the guys that I've enjoyed for a very long time. We've had a great relationship, and
we have.
I think it's based on truth because you are a truthful individual, and I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of truth out of you today.
That you'll get from me. Yeah, I'm also a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for 36 years this November.
Wow.
I am the managing partner and senior partner of a law firm in the area called ARM Lawyers, ARM Lawyers. We have offices in Bethlehem, Stroudsburg, Palmerton, Pittsburgh. Had one in Pittston until recently, just shut that one down. And now
Why'd you shut that one down?
The attorney was running it, left the firm.
All right, because just so you know.
It's the streets.
Just so you know.
It's a fact. It's the greatest city in the history of mankind.
There you go.
Okay, go ahead.
There you go. And looking to open up another location in a month or two out in the west end of Monroe County. So
Awesome.
busy.
Great. Yeah, we're gonna get in. We're gonna get into all of it. Let's just go a quick bulletin timeline. We've been married a long time as well.
I will be married 35 years.
Wow.
This
So your
November.
law career and your marriage started about the same time.
I started practicing divorce law in 1990.
That's a great strategy.
That was a good strategy.
In 1990, and I got married literally 12 months after I passed the bar in 91. So this Thanksgiving will be our 35th.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome. And when did you get into martial arts? I'm just trying to create a timeline.
I got into martial arts per se, probably, if you want to, I'd say 95 is when the interest started.
Okay, so a little after your law career, career started, a little after your marriage started.
I was, when I was growing up, I was, and we can talk about the reasons behind it. I mean, there's always a reason. You're 5'4", 220 pounds, covered in tattoos and bald headed, and most of it's insecurity from being beaten up as a child. So I got into bodybuilding when I was younger. I got into bodybuilding at about 14, powerlifting and bodybuilding, and stuck with that for a really, really long time.
Okay, so let's start there because that came before law and that came before marriage and
that-
everything. So let's start with the bodybuilding career. So, like you said, like the insecurity of getting beaten up leads you to bodybuilding. So let's walk through that. Let's walk down that path.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy. I was when I was 13, I think I was same height I am now. I think I weighed 104 pounds.
Wow. Yeah.
Long hair, very delicate features, very effeminate looking in many ways, believe it or not. And you go to the restaurant and the waiter would say, "And for you, miss," and you just watch your parents go, "Jesus Christ."
Yeah.
So bullied a bit, and there wasn't really where I lived. Well, there wasn't any of this stuff back then. Anyway,
Right.
You're talking. I'll be 61 in 2 weeks.
Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that.
You're talking, 50 years ago almost. So there was really no wrestling. There was karate, but it was few and far between.
Yep.
I don't remember what year Kung Fu came out with David Carradine. Was that?
Yeah.
But I stumbled upon bodybuilding on my 13th birthday. I remember my grandmother took me to the mall to buy whatever I wanted. I found Franco Colombo's Winning Bodybuilding.
That's awesome.
And I said, I want this. And she said, well, you don't want that. Those are homosexuals and
Yes. Yeah.
because
That's that era. Yes.
Oh my God!
Of
Yeah,
course,
Yeah.
that's that era.
I mean,
yes.
Muscle and Fitness was right behind Blue Boy and Nova Man, and the
Everybody's hitting Google right now. They're like,
I don't know what those
Nova
are.
in the porn section.
Yes,
and,
yeah.
And so I'm like, no, I really want that. She's like, you don't want that. That day I got home and my father had an old set of the Sears plastic concrete filled weights.
Oh, I had them. I had them.
Everyone
Were they
had
red?
them. No, these were gold.
Mine were red.
They're gold plastic. This was the expensive kind. It was gold.
Oh, boy. Yeah,
And
different spray paint, right?
They weren't even spray paint. They were just die cast.
Yeah.
And I dug them out of the attic and I started lifting and I didn't stop for probably another 15 years.
That's awesome.
I still do. I mean, I still lift 3 days a week. It's still kind of my first love. But so I got into competitive bodybuilding and into competitive powerlifting and did fairly well in the powerlifting end of it. But I kept that up for a long time. And when I got out of law school, I don't know, I had this thing in my head that it was kind of time to put away childish things. And perhaps that was one. I was going to become a real lawyer and a business person. And at the time I had some hair, had the hair parted on the side, and tried the blue suits. And I didn't have any tattoos at that time or anything of that nature. And within about a year or two, I was just going insane. I mean, just going absolutely ape shit insane. Was the language?
No, yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Family friendly.
It's in my contract. I get one F-bomb a podcast.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I mean there will be.
I get one.
I'm sure there will be younger members of our organization and listening.
I'll clean it up a little
But no,
bit.
you're fine. You're fine.
good.
We just had a teacher on recently who dropped like 4 F-bombs. So we're good.
I was actually listening to your last one with Angela, was it?
Alan Manganello.
Alan
Manganello,
on the way in. And as you were wrapping up, I thought, oh my God, what a contrast. Here you've got this great jiu-jitsu guy thanking God and all these, and now the devil's coming in. I with no talent whatsoever.
That's not true. None
And
of
the
that's
walls
true.
are going to catch on fire, you know. But
I got a fire extinguisher right now. We'll be all right.
We'll be okay.
so flash forward, it is literally 95. I haven't lifted here and there. I hadn't done much of anything, and I was kind of out of shape and this and that. And I'll never forget it because we were in my home was originally a much smaller home. We were in the basement, which was the family room, with two of my best friends. We had both just had a child. I think D-Boy was 1.
Okay.
So
Right.
we had both just had a child.
And for context, D-Boy's 30-ish now? 31,
32 in
32?
October.
Okay.
Yeah. And we were in my basement, and I put on pay-per-view. And it happened to be UFC 7.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know what it was. Put it on, said, hey, let's watch this. Nobody watched. I mean, nobody besides me watched.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God. I'm just thinking to myself, if there are people that can do this, I'm not even a man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even deserve to walk. Because here I am, I was pretty pumped up at one point in time. I was a pretty built guy and had had a few street scuffles in my older years and done pretty well. And I'm thinking, if they can do this, I'm never going out of the house again. And so I really became fascinated with the concept. Went to the local video store the next day, and again went through the curtains into the porno section and
That's
found
where they kept UFC.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
where they
Right.
kept them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Right
got to be
there.
above 18 to get it.
You had to be above 18. You had to be
Ron
18 to get
Jeremy
it, yeah.
and Hoist Gracie.
Yeah, right next to each other. Yes.
You know,
They're not all that different.
Oh my God, we're starting already.
I was about to say something extremely profane. I stopped myself.
well, because
Good.
if you look at it from my context, so UFC 7,
I always have this if we need it.
UFC 7, they kept referring to Hoist Gracie.
Yes. Now, 7 would have been like Severn and Bustamante, and all those guys would have been coming in.
Seven was
Severn
Marco
already
Huas.
in. Huas.
Huas,
Yes. Okay.
and the polar bear, Paul Varlin, in the finals.
Yes.
And, they introduced Marco Huas. We don't know how old he is. He's the king of the streets. He's got
Right.
400 undefeated street fights, and this guy's a pit fighter, and this guy's this guy's killed 17 men with a toothpick.
Undocumented.
And I'm buying all of it because if you looked at Marco Huas, you believed it.
Yes. Sure.
I mean, look at the guy. He looked like God. But they kept referring to Hoist Gracie,
Yes.
Hoist Gracie, Hoist Gracie, but they never showed him.
Right.
So I went, and they had UFC 1, 2, and 3, and I, of course, rented them all,
Right.
watched them all, went back, rented them all. Ultimately, I think I stole them. Because I rented them so many
much,
times. I
just
said, you know
like
what,
on
I've paid for these
days.
like 75 times.
Yeah, I'm keeping them.
I'm keeping them at this point. And that was it. I was hooked, but there was no outlet for it. There was nowhere to go.
Yes.
There was no internet.
Right.
There was no, there were no magazines readily available. So I think it was, I don't know, maybe a year or two later, and I think I bought Black Belt magazine or something.
Yep.
And there was a little tiny ad in the back of it for Full Contact Fighter, the newspaper, the old actual newspaper. So I subscribed to Full Contact Fighter, and that would come in, and it was like the Bible showing up, every month, and just voraciously reading about this.
Yeah.
Still had not done anything. And then an ad for Renzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, about this big.
And Zeno.
And that was Lattice Place out of Hatfield. Rich Lattice Place,
Lattice,
which is now Renzo, PA.
Yes.
But at the time was Hatfield Martial Arts.
Okay.
And that was around, I'm going to say 98, 99.
I was going to say 98 or 99 for Rich, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a blue belt.
Yeah.
He was a blue belt. And his main classes at that time was still Shotokan Karate. So we would go to the top of the gym, and he would be teaching his karate classes to adults and children and whatnot. He would take off the gi, and when he took the gi off, I mean, the guy was like an action figure come to life back then. I mean, just calves and thighs, just a very, very charming guy. We hit it off very well. And then we would unfold the blue folding mats for however many people
the
were
toe
there.
killers.
Yeah.
The toe killers, the ones that break your toes. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I took my first jiu-jitsu class, and a guy I was training with, who I'm sure had a long and illustrious career in MMA, said to me in about 5 minutes, and he goes, dude, if you're having trouble already, you're never going to make it in this sport. That was 30 years ago. So
Yeah, right.
I'm still around. I made it in a different way.
Yeah, right,
It
right.
wasn't, I didn't make it. He was right about the mat part, but that was really it. That's how I got started. And then because of my background and because of my desire to see neither of my children ever go through, because I have a wonderful daughter who also trains. She's a public defender right now down in Jim Thorpe. She'll be joining the law firm later this year after she gets married. I never wanted to see my children ever go through any of the things I had gone through as a child, whether they were good, bad, or indifferent. But certainly being physically intimidated by another human being was at the top of the list.
Right.
And, I remember when my wife was pregnant, my wife's 4'11". I'm 5'4" on a good day.
Yeah.
And I remember the doctor saying, he's going to be very small. And I go, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. We're
you,
very
Captain
much,
Obvious.
We're pretty much aware he's going to be, and I'm the tallest one in my family.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going to be small. And I just decided that wasn't going to happen. So I had my kids and my wife started training karate in locally in Palmerton where we live with Master Nino, who's now passed. I was training jiu-jitsu down in Hatfield.
In Hatfield, yeah.
When D was, I don't know, he was probably 5, 6. I took him with me one time, and we put him on the mats.
Yeah.
And it was truly crazy because he just started doing stuff, and people were like, where did he get that? I'm like, I have no idea. He's never seen jiu-jitsu before in his life. He doesn't know anything about it. And it became very clear that he had a natural talent for it.
Yeah.
So over the next year or two, Master Nino, who had been running the karate studio for years and years and years, decided he wanted to retire and was looking to sell the building and keep the karate school. So, we ultimately worked out a deal. I said, I'll buy the building. I'm always interested in the real estate end of things. You can keep your school, but I want all the additional time slots. And we were going to open what was going to be a club. It was just going to be a few guys training. It was me, Big John Kiefer, who you know,
Yep.
my wife, a couple other people. We were just going to have, and it was going to be, and I actually had the Rat Pack Jiu-Jitsu Club, we called it. And that's how we started. And then from there, I eventually.
So what year would that be if D-Boy's 5-ish or a little bit later than that?
Yeah. So we opened the gym officially as a gym in 2005.
Okay.
So this had to be 2003. So he would have been about 9.
Yeah.
He would have been about 9 years old. My daughter would have been about 7. And my wife actually she actually went up to brown belt in karate and only stopped because of politics at that point in time. Because all martial arts have politics.
Of course.
The old karate stuff was really crazy. And there was certainly some resentment. There was resentment because as we became bigger, it became smaller.
Right.
Yes.
And eventually I said, you got to go.
Right.
I need all these
All
times.
of it. Yes.
Of course.
And I put in a cage. I put in a cage wall. I put in an 18 by 18 boxing ring.
Yes.
I put in a weight room, and they're just like, what's going on? What's going on? And the answer is, well, there's a revolution coming.
Right. You're living in the past 1,000 years. And
Exactly.
the past 10 years has revolutionized.
The wheel has
what
been
we-
invented,
Yes,
and
correct.
now we're going to
And
travel.
now we're gonna- yes.
And you're at the height of the popularity at that point.
Yes.
Ultimate Fighter and all that stuff is starting to happen.
We really were, and well, and you guys, I said to Jeff, we had lunch a couple of weeks ago, and I said the one thing I loved about you guys together in the podcast and most of your guests so far is that I consider myself a pioneer,
Right.
and you guys predate me by a lot.
Well, at least he does.
In terms of
He
the,
does.
in terms of the training itself. I recognized very early on that I was not good at this. I love it, but I'm not good at it. But I didn't, as we talked about, I didn't see myself as the next Hoist Gracie. I always saw myself as the next, to make the bodybuilding analogy, the next Joe Weider.
I understand.
Or in the MMA world, Dana White.
Dana White, yes.
These are the guys I'm like, I can't do what these guys can do, but I can control what they do.
And you also had
how
that.
they do it.
You had that type of. And correct me if I'm wrong. You had that type of brain. You had that organizational brain from your background of being a negotiator as a lawyer and stuff like that. I feel like you probably gravitated towards that role.
Yeah, I did. There's definitely an arrogance there of always assuming. I always get mad at people when especially guys in the gym, like, look, if you can do it better, then do it.
Right.
And if you think it's easy, then let's see you do it.
Yes.
Right.
I've always had that same arrogance, though, and thought, I can do it this better. I can do this different. And that's how I felt with MMA. Was I felt like there was a lot of good athletes, but there was nobody really directing them or organizing it, or
especially
doing
at that
kind
time.
Yeah, and we weren't legal anywhere.
Nope.
I mean, God, we're talking about the days when it wasn't even on pay-per-view, let alone legal in Pennsylvania. So I started actively working on Greg's serve to try and get MMA legalized in PA.
Prior to that, it was all smokers. It was in houses.
That's right.
If the athletic commission heard about it, ooh boy,
Yeah, you got shut down.
You were getting fined. You were getting shut down and everything. I want to get into all that. So we just talked about 15 minutes, like a nice bulletin. I want to circle all the way back and then work our way forward. Sure. Because the history of Rat Pack is very interesting, very convoluted.
Checkered.
Right? But I want to go back. Checkered. I want to go back to bodybuilding. Right, you're like, okay, I discover the weights in the attic. I bring them down. I start lifting. Obviously, that's a journey of self-discovery. But we're always talking with people about mentors. Did you find a bodybuilding mentor that started you on the path that said, "Hey, this is the way you lift, kid"?
No, in fact,
Or you just like learn from books?
I found the exact opposite. I found most of the guys involved in the sport to be complete
douchebags.
a-holes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And ultimately, when I started you got to remember, just because I started lifting weights doesn't mean,
Right.
I was 106 pounds when I started. I graduated high school at 132.
Yeah.
At 19. Now I was a bodybuilder then, and I was powerlifting. I was when I was the strongest I ever was, but I was still a small guy. So even when I graduated from my home bedroom to the YMCA, there was still bullying that went on for a while.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
So no, I never found a mentor in that. I kind of just forged my own path with it, and it really became my identity almost across the board, because I was not a great academic back in high school. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, I was wasted potential, as they would say. In fact, I still carry and have in my briefcase a number of my high school report cards that I bring out every now and then to show people that say he will never go anywhere. He's arrogant. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else. He's lazy, blah, blah, blah. And I always say, I think I probably make more than they do now.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
yeah.
they're dead now. They're dead.
Can't really rub it in their face anymore.
But at some point in time, I think I surpassed them. They've got to be dead by this point. You know, if I'm 60, they got to be 112.
Yeah, right.
So we transitioned from bodybuilding to. You just said you weren't like a great student academically. So what led you to law then? Because that's not an easy path. That's not an easy. You got to be a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, the law thing was kind of just there. So when
The
I say
law thing was kind of just there.
Being a lawyer was just
You
kind
are
of right
underselling
there.
yourself. It's a difficult profession. You got to be smart.
you have to have a certain intelligence.
Yes.
I don't know if you need to
course.
be smart.
Okay, I can roll with
A
that.
certain
Sure.
logic, at least.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I say I wasn't good academically, that was high school.
Yeah.
When I went to college, I started paying for it.
Want to get your money's worth.
Now I did well.
Yeah.
And I actually graduated college with, I think, like a 3.9 average or something like that. So I was able to get into law school pretty easily. I was an English major, though.
Did you attend locally or did you go out of state?
No, I went to college. I went to Loyola, Baltimore for 2 years.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they kindly asked me to leave, and I kindly obliged. So I ended up finishing up at LaSalle in Philadelphia, and then I went to Temple Law. And I chose my law school very easily. I needed to take the subway, so wherever I could take the subway to is where I went.
Yeah.
And I was a subway dweller for those 6 or 7 years, living in South Philly. And as an English major with a drama minor, where are you going?
Right.
You're either going to become an English teacher, which I
Yes.
think I probably should have done and probably would have liked much better. But, the way I was raised, my parents were my grandparents were immigrants and really, really, really education.
Yeah.
In our world, even back then, a college education was the equivalent of you got a participation trophy in kindergarten.
Yep.
You needed to be a doctor, a lawyer, this, that, the other thing. And I bought into it. So I went down that path and did it. I don't regret it, but it's certainly not. I always tell people that I practice law so that I can do these things. It affords me the ability to do that.
Yes.
Because as you and I have talked about, the one blessing in my life from the MMA business is I don't need to make a living off of it.
Right.
I've never made a living off of it. I don't make any money off of it. Any money I make goes back into it or goes to the guys that help me run it, or et cetera, in some form or another. So it's never been something I've done for a living.
You do it because you love it.
I do it because I loved it. I enjoyed being part of it in two respects. Number one, I think certainly being in charge of and perhaps controlling the people that had at such a disadvantage earlier in life.
Right.
And it's a terrible analogy. And again, I apologize for my family-friendly audience, but I think it's a good one. If you look into the adult industry, many of the people that are in that industry are there because they were abused in some manner
Right.
when they were younger. And they want to take control of the thing they fear the most.
Yes.
That's a great point. Yeah.
If I was beaten up by guys when I was younger, why not control them now?
Right.
Why not be in charge of them? Why not take that thing that you fear the most and
Control it.
and become king?
Yes.
In one way or the other. And like I said, I recognize very early on, physically, I'm not going to get there.
Right.
But there's other ways I can get there. And the other thing is, and we were talking about this the other day, a couple of us, I think the only other sport that is comparable in terms of we were there when it started is maybe snowboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But which is bigger?
Yes. Yeah. in the grand
So
scheme,
like
for
literally,
sure.
I mean, my first sign, I don't know what your signs said years ago, but mine didn't say MMA because that wasn't a term.
Right.
As much as Google wasn't a term.
Right.
Or Yahoo wasn't a term. There was no MMA, so my first sign says no hold barred fighting. That's what it said.
Yeah.
That's what it said. And MMA only grew out of that. So to be involved from that early on and to watch where it's gone for the good and bad of it.
Of course.
And we're going to get into
And
all
there's
of
a
that.
lot of both. Has been a really exciting and amazing ride.
Yeah.
So you passed the bar, and now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but your specialty is family law.
Family law, it's a nice word for divorce.
So was there a drawing to that? Like you're like, I'm really good at this, or was there like a bigger calling? Like, you know, I want to make sure that people aren't getting screwed over in their lives.
This is where the comparison to your last guest is going to be really bad. No, there's no.
That's all right.
There's no higher purpose.
We don't want the same person on every time.
No, it's very easy. I am good at it in that to be good at family law, you have to be able to detach yourself and have an insensitivity. And people ask me all the time how I created that. And I say I was born that way.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. Judge called me up to the front of the room a couple of years ago. It's a protection from abuse thing. She said, "Mr. Masington, did you read this petition?" I said, "I did." She goes, "Did it upset you as much as it upset me?" I go, "Apparently not." She goes, "It's about children." So I leaned up over the bench because I'm very short, and I said, "Not about my children." She goes, "No." I go, "I'm good."
Yeah.
And I went back and sat down.
Right.
And I don't mean that to be harsh, but you can't
personalize
No,
it.
you can't. You can't. You
won't last very long if you do.
You won't last very long. I think I'm a good mediator. I know I'm a good mediator. I know I'm good at seeing the different angles and whatnot. And the other thing about family law, and it's just terrible to say, is academically it's rather simple. And what there isn't is a lot of time limits.
Oh, okay.
So, for instance, I hit you with my car. You file a lawsuit. I don't answer within a certain amount of time. You win. I've defaulted, et cetera.
Okay.
Family law. Did you file that? No. Well, wasn't it due? Do you still have children? Yeah, we'll file it tomorrow. Yeah, and I'm not that lackadaisical.
Right, of course.
But there's really not those stringent statutes of limitation and time limits and whatnot. It's always going to be there. You finish a custody case, you're going to be redoing it 6 months from now.
Just going to redo it again.
You're going to redo it again and again. So it's very rarely it's boom. That's the end of it. It's final. And I'm a good negotiator. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at seeing the forest for the trees. And I've actually begun being hired by some of the local court systems to do some mediation work, which is, a little more enjoyable, I guess, is for lack of a better term. But I mean, I don't want to downplay the business.
Right.
And Dylan and I talk about this all the time because he calls a lot of the jiu-jitsu culture cringy. And he gets very frustrated with it. I can't stand this and I can't stand that.
Yep.
And I'll say, do you know how many people would kill to be as good as you are at what you do?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Sound familiar?" And I go, "Shit, yeah, it does." He goes, "Do you like the people you work?" I go, "No, I don't." He goes, "I don't see you inviting any attorneys over to the house, Dad. You don't have any friends that are attorneys."
Yeah.
He goes, "Everybody that you have over the house are fighters."
Right.
I'm like, "Yes." And he goes, "Well, that's how I feel about fighters."
Right.
He goes, "You don't want to be around lawyers? I don't want to be around
fighters.
I don't want to be around
Right.
jiu-jitsu." We went to Naga last week. He goes, "I'll be fine as long as I don't have to talk to any jiu-jitsu people." I said, "We're at Naga, son."
Right.
You may
You're
have
probably
to-
going to see a couple.
You may have to see a couple, and they may come up to you, so be nice. But
Be nice.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
And so you met your wife right after passing the bar.
No, I actually met my wife
Or before
second
passing.
year of law school.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, my wife has been with me from the beginning. When my wife and I got married, I had a 78 Ford Granada, some IKEA furniture, and about $200,000 in student loans. And my first year as a lawyer, my salary was $22,500 per year with no health insurance. We did not take a vacation other than our honeymoon for probably 10 years, something like that. We lived on the kindness of some friends and some ramen noodles, and we had milk crates for furniture, and we literally, if we had an oil leak in a car, it was, oh my God, what are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
We lived very, and then when Dylan was born, she actually ended up losing her job and our health insurance because the company ran off to South Carolina in the middle of the night, didn't tell anybody, closed up. And I went to my firm back then, may they rest in peace, and said, hey, guys, my wife is pregnant.
Yeah.
We have no health insurance. You pay me. Can we have health insurance? They said, of course, Nick. That's no problem. We'll just take it out of your pay.
Yeah, no problem, Nick.
Of course you could have it. Yeah. He's got to pay for it.
Fast forward, that same law firm, 30-some years later, was selling their building that I started out in across the street from my building in Stroudsburg. And I called the realtor. I said, tell them I'll give them, I think they were selling it for like $600 or something.
Yeah.
I said, tell them I'll give them $450 cash. They're like, well, that's an insult. I go, I know.
I know.
I'm very well aware of it. But I also know where the demons are in that building. I know where the leaks are. So tell them I'll give them $450 cash. They go back. They said, no, thank you. I said, that's all right. It was just fun to do it.
It was fun to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get, revenge is the dish best served cold.
My life, what's the great line? My life is far less motivation than it is retaliation.
Retaliation.
That's funny.
So that's my own wife was there building through the struggles, and those are just like they're rock solid women.
Yeah. Well, it's
my
rock
wife,
solid. What irritates me with the world, and I'll say family. I guess I can say family is my wife gets a lot of you're lucky. Yes, you know me a little bit.
We talk about this all. How many episodes did we talk about?
You know
this
me
so
a little
far?
bit. You know me a little bit less, but you can sense nobody's lucky to be in my presence for 35 years, right?
Right.
There's no luck here. My wife's COO of the firm.
Nobody has worked harder than your wife.
My wife worked for the firm for 15 years without pay.
Yeah.
Now she's COO. She runs the entire firm. All the offices, all the other things. She runs the real estate. We've got 2 real estate companies, one that owns the law offices and one that owns rental homes. Mm-hmm. She runs all of those and all of the properties. She's also the owner of the gym. I don't own anything in Rat Pack. Right. She's the president. Yeah. And quite frankly, we would never even be able to run the gym without her because she's the only one that has enough balls to tell people they owe dues. Exactly. I won't do it. Yeah. I don't. I want everybody to like me. She'll walk in and go, hey. You.
Yeah, come over here.
Right. Exactly what she said.
You need that person.
Chuck, you guys say my wife is literally 4'11". She's adorable, but she's not the most intimidating. Everything. But when she says that,
it's intimidating.
Oh my God! You watch a 6'3" fighter just poop his pants, right? It's like, oh God, see,
No, I give credit all the time. I said there would be no Gracie NEPA without my wife.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
would not be. She is the unsung hero. It does not exist without her. She doesn't get the credit for it. Yeah. Even sometimes for me, I forget. Thank you, honey.
Yeah, she's the best.
Thank you. Right. No, and it's tough when you do work because we work together. My whole family works together. My son works for me. So our setup is very cool. I had a fire. We have a lot of parallels in our life, Jeff and I. As different as we are in many ways, there's so many similarities between the love of cooking, the love of Disney, the family orientation, and the fire experience. Now,
and you're both 6'5".
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's funny. I listened to your last part, and I think there's 3 or 4 comments. Oh, she was a little tiny thing at 5'4". I'm like, okay, guys, all right, guys, let's get out. No, it was a couple people. You were talking about your daughter. You were talking about tiny thing at 5'4". I'm like, okay, one more of those.
One more of those. I'm turning this off.
I'm not coming. Let's get the scale out. Talk about tiny, My thing is, as long as you weigh over 185 pounds, you can be 3 feet tall. It doesn't matter. But
that's great.
But she's been vital through all of it, and we've really built a lot together, and that's it's nice that way. But yeah, my son works for me. So we when the building burned down. I don't believe in the fates or this, that, and the other thing, but then we had this remarkable situation where in Palmerton, which is a town of 4,000 people, 3 doors down was a building twice the size, much nicer, et cetera, that I was able to pick up. Mm-hmm. And at one point, Dylan came to me about 2 years before COVID. And because I said, look, it's getting time for you to take over the gym. And he goes, I don't want this thing. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, Dad, you're there all the time. He goes, there's always a leak. There's this, there's that. So what he really didn't want was the building and the responsibility. I said, what do you want? He goes, I want what they had. And that was when Finishers was just starting out. And they had a little tiny place with some high-level Fuji mats. He goes, that's what I want. I want a room with mats. So what we ultimately sold the gym, and we between the fire money and the gym money, we bought this new building. We put my law office in there. We put the gym in there. And at one point in time, my daughter lived in one apartment, my son lived in another. Now he moved out; he has his own home, but my daughter still lives there with her fiance, who also works for the firm. He works for the firm. My wife works for the firm. We all work at the gym.
It's a family affair.
And my daughter's going to join the firm when she leaves the public defender's office in January.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the white trash version of the Kennedy compound, I guess.
The Masington compound.
That's great.
It really is.
So now let's dive back. You're building the Rat Pack fighting system gym. You're phasing out the karate people. You're getting mats and this and this and this. And this is an interesting story because this is about the time that the internet is becoming popularized. You guys had, and through no fault of your own, had quite the scandal.
I actually brought you a present today.
Yeah.
And that's what's in that folder.
A present.
Boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. You guys had. I'm
I
trying
have nothing to do with this.
Is it a scalp?
This, my friend, is a printout of
The underground.
the underground thread.
This is so good, Nick.
The underground thread.
You have the whole thing?
I have the whole thing. Every word of
Now,
it.
a lot of people watching might not remember what the underground was.
you gotta explain it.
So
I-
let's
I'll
explain to them
explain
what the
whole story,
underground
but
was.
I cite from this quite frequently on the internet with things like, these ass clowns won't last two
Yes.
weeks in this business.
Yes.
Right.
And that was 2004.
Yes.
I'm still here, guys.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
22 years
And I
later.
can assure you the guys that wrote that have been long gone.
yeah.
So I will try to avoid any major scandals. We started, as I said, as a club. I was a blue belt under Henzo. Got it directly from Henzo himself. I have pictures in case you want to.
Hey, we'll put them up.
we
on the
put them up. We
podcast.
love putting pictures into the podcast.
Yeah, we will.
Big John, who Jeff knows.
Yeah.
We call him Giant Kiefer because he's 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
Some debate over the weight. I won't say anything 'cause he will kill me. But I'm telling you, the first number's a 3, and hands the size of a gorilla.
Yes.
And knows how to use every inch and pound of it. So it was me and Big John and another friend at the time who was I believe he was a blue belt under Pedro. And we decided to start this little club. And one day a gentleman walks in and says, "Hey, I'm a black belt and just moved here from Sao Paulo and would like to teach." And nice enough guy, and certainly way more talented than we were. Because I remember back then, I mean, blue belts were like
God,
black
yeah.
belts
Sure.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
And a black belt.
Purple belt was a unicorn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there was, like I said, Lotta was, Brian Miller was a purple.
Yes.
And Brian was in the original class with Matt Serra and Ricardo Almeida.
Right. At Henzo's.
Yeah, at Hamilton's, yeah. With was it Kukuk or whatever his name was?
Yes. Kaiki? No, not Kaiki.
Down in Philly before Henzo went to New York.
I know who you're talking about.
So we didn't know. We said, okay, great. We put them on the website, and within, I don't know, a day or two, they start this thread. And I know who started it. It was a guy from down in Henzo's place, who I later ran into years later. He goes, your son's really good? I go, yeah, I know. Asshole.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah, I know the guy.
You want to fight him?
Yeah, right.
Because I'd love to see him break your leg. And
Yeah,
shove it
right.
up your ass.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, your son's really good. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And within, I don't even know what so the Underground Forum, for guys that don't know, was the original chat
Yes.
box for MMA. And it was the only one online, and they love to expose scandals and frauds, et cetera. And we were one of the first ones. So it became Rat Pack Fighting Systems, fraudulent black belt, blah, 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 blah. And it went on for 2.5 years.
I was gonna say a long time.
2.5
I remember
years.
it going on for a long time.
And by the and you know me, I don't take stuff like that very well. So I kind of reacted and we went back and forth. And by the end of it, I was getting death threats at my home on the answering machine and whatnot. And towards the end of it, we had 2 members left. I mean, it just decimated us. So here I was this young guy. I didn't have a lot of money back then. Whatever we had, we'd put into this business. It was a family thing. It was going to be fun. The kids trained there. You know, we marched in the Halloween parade, which they made fun of, and everything we did. They post pictures, and they'd say the fat bald guy. I'm like, I'm not fat guy. First of all, you know. Second of all, you know. And it was just, I mean, just being, and then, he's a lawyer. This is a scam. I mean, boom. And then they went after my law business. They went after everything.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, you got 2 choices here, you know, fight or flight.
You're right. Yeah.
So I decided to fight. And what I did was I shut the whole thing down and rebuilt to the ground up. And I reached out to a couple people that had left the gym during all this and said, look, if you come back, we will make this huge. We will become the biggest name in the area. And one of those was Joel Roberts, who ultimately fought from who ended up fighting Aljamain Sterling, Jimmy Rivera, Jeff Lentz, Bill Algeo, and everybody else.
For Bellator, right? And Joel was in, Joel was in King of the Cage.
King of the Cage, and he was in Bellator twice.
Okay, Bellator. I thought it was Bellator, yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, we went to Bellator with him, and I started recruiting real tough farm boy wrestlers. Not the greatest fighters in the world, but man, they were tough.
Yeah.
And we just started training and fighting and going to tournaments. And I told them, you know, gold is great. A disqualification is better. I said, because they're not going to talk about the gold tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about guys, literally, I'm not proud of it, but I'm literally talking about guys like picking you up off the mat and slamming you on the floor.
Yep.
I'm talking about people like just punching you in the face when they wanted to.
Yeah, chip on the shoulder.
And probably the proudest day was about a year or 2 later. A friend of mine came to me and said, you know, nobody wants to train here. I said, why? He goes, they say, we're just a bunch of you-know-whats that just beat people up and send them on their way. I said, I've turned it around.
Right.
Yeah.
I've turned it around.
Yeah.
I said, because 2 years ago we were frauds.
Yes.
And quote unquote ass clowns.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we're just bullies that beat people up and send them on their way.
Yes.
I said, now we can calm down. Now we can pull back.
Right.
Can you talk about and explain the fraud? The fraud was it the Brazilian?
Yep.
Well, that was the allegation.
Yes.
That was the allegation that he was not a legitimate black belt.
That was the allegation.
Correct. Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. Yes.
We ultimately went through the Brazilians at the time, Higan Machado, Marcos Santos, and ended up with Francisco Mansour.
He was legendary, by the way. Francisco Mansour. If you Google, if you don't know, you need to Google. But Francisco is legendary.
We ended up with them and ultimately being protected by them to some degree, et cetera, until that falling out happened. But yeah, it was just insanity. And it was just such a, we took what was something that was so positive and made it so negative that I just literally went on a tear we probably went on a tear for about a good 3 or 4 years. And that was the days of, I hate everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I hate everybody. I hate you. A couple people stormed our dojo.
Right.
We went out and we showed up at your place, man. We were going to cause trouble, and everybody knew that. And if you came to our place, and the rule was you don't leave until you're bleeding, and we'll let you live so you go back and tell the rest of your village.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell the story.
Yeah.
Live to tell the story.
And we did it so many times that at one point in time at MMA fights, I actually had a bodyguard when I went to the urinal, because there were a lot of people didn't like us and didn't like me. And yeah, I was just angry and did it. And then D-Boy was really the one that got us out of that. And it was actually kind of how I connected with you, was as my son started to come up and get better and bigger and kind of start to make his name. He's like, Dad, why don't we ever go to other places and train? I'm like, well, because they hate us. And he's like, well, no, they hate you. Because they don't know me. Right. And you were actually one of the first people we reached out to.
Yeah.
He was about 14 or 15, I think, the first time we came up.
Yeah.
And you were one of the first people we reached out to, because I knew you peripherally from the MMA circuit. And you're one of the few guys that I hadn't had any beef with.
Right.
Or started a beef with. And then we went on a tour of, I don't know, probably, we went to, obviously we went to Harry Brovsky's place. We went to Simrel's. We went to Ratchford's place. We went to anybody and everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody and anywhere, from South Jersey to New York.
Yeah.
And I think our list is up to about 110 schools. And he was kind of my entree in was, hey, my son just wants to train with you.
Right.
And he's pretty good. You might enjoy it.
Yes.
Right.
And that's how we started establishing relationships. And then, and I think our last MMA fight, I said, it's almost unmotivating because I'm not pissed off anymore. So
I don't have the chip anymore.
I don't care.
I don't have the chip anymore. Yeah.
I said once we fought for notoriety, then we fought for titles. Now we fight for fun, I guess.
Yeah. That's when my chip came off. That's when you guys started to refer to me as Disney Jeff.
Yeah.
You're like, there's Disney Jeff, and then there was the old school Jeff.
Right.
But I never really had. I came up under instructors who were very xenophobic. You can't train, you can't cross train, you can't do this.
Well, that was the
You have
rule.
to be enemies with
how it
people.
was.
You have to be angry with them. You have to not like them.
Some places are still like that.
There are, yeah, for sure. And I was like, well, why? I have friends who train at Cimerals. I have friends who train over here and there. Over here. So like
But that's
I would go and do it. They would get mad, but I would cross train with people, and I didn't really care.
That's how it all was. I think that's how we all were because for some reason everybody thought they had this secret. That
Everybody thought they had a secret. There was no secrets.
The bottom line is you can show me everything you know.
Right.
I won't be able to do any of it, so it doesn't matter. I can't physically replicate it. Where and it was always that way. And the other thing was in a lot of gyms, at least that I trained at, when you came in as a new person, it was trial by fire.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's see how bad. Let's see how bad you want this.
Fresh
Let's-
meat.
My third week, same guy that started the stuff on the internet, double armbarred me, put me out for 3 months. I literally trained because I was only training 1 day a week because it was a 2-hour round. I literally trained maybe 5 times in my life. He was a high level blue at the time and about 6'3" and double armbarred me and popped both my arms and and that was what it
No
was.
slow, steady squeeze back then.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
no,
No, everything was ripped. Yeah.
Let's see what you can get through.
Yes.
Let's see how much you can take.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
Yeah. Rat Pack. I think I know where it comes from, but talk us through the choice of names for the gym.
Rat Pack's just from the old D. Martin. One of the
That's what I thought.
Ron Keblish, who is no longer with us at the gym, but still teaches and trains in the area. He's with Cimerals now.
Okay.
He and I were fans of the old Rat Pack, music and Sinatra and Dean Martin, and we kind of likened
Got some records right over there.
Yeah, we kind of perhaps incorrectly kind of likened ourselves to them in a little bit of a way. So that was, and there was 4 guys that started the gym. So
there you go. Perfect.
We were just bouncing names around, and I did the logo, the original rat logo, this one.
Yeah.
And then we developed the skull and crossbones label later.
Yeah.
And now we just use RPFS. And my son does all the graphics now with the more realistic rats in the gym and whatnot. So that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And we kind of played on that theme a lot back in the day, but now it's just more RPFS and gotten away from that. And
Yeah. Now, we're talking about the old days and how it was kill or be killed back then. What do you want now? Like for someone who's coming in for the first time ever, never trained, what do you want their experience to be like now?
That's a great question, and it's going to tie in with our conversation towards the end of this thing. Is there's 2 answers to that, and it depends on who you ask at my gym. I'm at a real crossroads. So as you know, and as a lot of people know, we had trial by fire. We had trial by hell the last 2 years with my son's health.
Yes.
2005 will go down in my life, hopefully, knock on wood, is the worst. It's the worst year of my life. My son was beyond ill. We counted by the end of the year, we did 103 doctor visits together, 16 hospitalizations, 19 lab studies, and at the end of 2005, still had no answers. And was told by several doctors at the end of the year that not only wouldn't he ever train again, we'd be lucky if he went to the bathroom, walked, slept. His comment was, "I'm fine as long as they don't eat, sleep, or move," and that was for 18 months. Thank God, and if there is one, that he's made a miraculous recovery.
Yeah.
He is now training. Well, he's got 7 tattoos in the last 4 days, so he's taken a few weeks off.
Yeah, I gotta.
But he's now training 3-4 hours at a clip. and does not appear to have missed a beat. I mean, I'm still mesmerized when I go in and see guys 240 pounds with their head behind their backside, and he's just twisting them in a knot.
You're a natural.
Picking his nose on the side while he does it. It's still fun to watch. He and I kind of have a similar view for the no-gi program. And then I have my guys like John, and John Kiefer, and my other black belt, Scott Muniz, who are more traditional gi guys. I think if you ask them what they would like, is they would like it to be kind of the experience that you create at your gym. Everybody's welcome. We got something for everybody. We're going to build the next generation. Yep. We're going to teach you self-defense.
Yeah.
We don't care if you compete. We don't, attendance and consistency and all those wonderful things about the martial arts.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that's their school of thought, and there's certainly always going to be room for that at the gym.
Yes.
Now, John Kiefer, he's the one that came to my seminar?
Yes. Yeah.
Big Giant Kiefer.
Of course.
Large man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice guy. Very good dude.
One of my, probably my 5 best friends on earth. John's been with me for 30 some years. And John actually was the first one when I was down at Hatfield to be kind enough to come over. And he was, a young kid at the time in his early 20s, but always still huge. And he'd say, listen, do you want to come in on Sundays and we'll do some private work and I can see if we get there. And he would take full mount and I would try to get out. And that's what we did for the next 6 months.
That's awesome.
And when I got out from underneath Big John, I got a blue belt.
There you go.
Because if you can get out from underneath Big John, you're a blue belt. I mean, that's just
the size difference is astronomical. And man, what that classic black belt mentality that we look for is like, here's a guy, probably got his black belt way before me. He's at that seminar that I'm teaching and just asking questions, positive feedback, that learning mind, like, you know what I mean? He's a great dude.
He has stuck with me through all the nonsense, all the scandal, all this. He's the one guy that's been with me from the very beginning, always had my back, and he's a tremendous friend. And so those guys are great for the gym. D-Boy and I have a different mindset, both when it comes to the sport in general and also because of where I'm at. If you ask us what we want, on our end in the no-gi, we don't want general public. We don't want kids.
Competition.
We don't want the guy that's trying to lose a few pounds. We don't want the lady whose doctor told her it'd be good to get exercise.
Right.
We don't want the weekend warrior who saw Conor McGregor and thinks this is neat. We want somebody that actually knows what this is, has an aptitude for it, and wants to do something with it. I think it was you on the last one that's talking about what are you going to do with your jiu-jitsu?
Exactly.
Where do you want to go with it?
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what it is as long as there's a purpose.
Exactly.
And D-Boy's mindset, which is akin to mine, is if you're not going to go on stage, who cares?
Okay.
If you're going to do it.
So he has that competition mindset. That's the goal.
He wants to, he wants likes, he wants follows, he wants his videos to go through the roof, and he wants to be on the biggest stages in the world.
Right.
That's why when Eddie
and it could become a living, a financial living as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he has the heart for that or the desire for that.
Okay.
I don't think but he definitely wants to teach guys that want to go out and do it.
Got it.
Whether it be in MMA, whether it be at Naga, whether it be at Fight to Win, he wants his guys to be good at this. He wants you to be able to beat other people at this.
Got it.
At this.
Competition.
Yes. No-gi.
High level competition.
No-gi,
skill versus skill.
High level competition. And it was neat. Before he got ill, we were doing his leg lock seminar series. And as you were just saying, it was really neat that I think in a couple of his seminars, there's 5 or 6 or 7 black belts learning from my kid.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty heady stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as you and I talked about, there are people who will question, is he really a black belt if he doesn't train? Oh, yeah. Roll with him.
Yeah, roll with them.
It's
very
one way
easy
to find out.
Just roll.
You
with
tell
them.
me.
Yeah, just roll, and you roll with them. You roll with somebody, you find out the truth.
Yeah,
and there's no hiding in jiu-jitsu. The great thing, and I know people tend to disagree with me, but there's room for everybody in jiu-jitsu. If you want to learn self-defense, how to survive in the street, blah blah blah, there's room for you. If you want to be a high-level competitor, there's room for you.
Yeah.
If you want to fall somewhere in between, fall somewhere in between. Like, who cares? I'm not going to yuck your yum. Like, whatever it is, I'm not going to yuck your yum. You know what I mean? Like, you like chocolate ice cream? Fine.
We just took 2 kids down to Naga and Wildwood last weekend. One of them, the first jiu-jitsu match he ever saw was the first one he was in, and he won. Because D-Boy's like,
awesome.
dude, he's like, you're a natural. Trust me.
Yeah.
He goes, just go in and do this. I guarantee you will win.
Yeah.
Because you're just that farm boy strength and
Yep.
that kind of naivete, and it's fun.
Yeah,
But
that can go a long way.
Sure can.
So I think that's where the future of Rap Pack for me is to have the guys that want to do the traditional stuff and the more general public stuff. And I don't mean that in a demeaning way, more in an open to the community way, doing it. And then he being able to come in and do what he wants when he wants with his guys. And almost you have to try out. You can't just come
For that team.
You have to be accepted into that program.
Like many other sports.
Yeah, like many other sports.
Almost all.
Like every school, you don't just show up at college and say, I want to get in.
Yeah. Right.
You have to have had some approach. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And it was, it was funny. I walked a path where it started off very traditional. It was all self-defense,
Right.
all Gracie, survival, and it's the streets and everything. And then I started to fall in love with the sport. MMA hits PA. We can cycle back and talk on this because we were both there for its genesis from day one. And I transitioned out of like jiu-jitsu's for everybody and it's self-defense for the streets. And then it became that. It was like, if you're coming into, remember the old building on Capaus Avenue?
Oh, I love that place.
You coming into that place, boy.
Yeah.
Who you better bring your big boy.
I was only in there a couple of times. I was still with Simrel.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The first time I walked into there, I was with Simrel still. I was still training at Simrel's, but I obviously knew these guys were on the other great team in the area, and I had a connection to that gym, which at the time, so I trained at that Capaus Ave facility a couple times, and I say to this day that's my favorite place, just because it was a very nuanced place.
And that's where we had all our fighters.
And James is no stranger to the baptism by fire.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's the same way. I mean, he's old school.
Yeah, he is old school.
And
then,
then,
again, say what you want about him.
You get popped, man.
Let me tell you something. You
will
want to
get
know?
popped, yeah.
He'll
let
you find out.
Been there,
let you know.
Love
Yeah,
Jim.
he'll let you find out.
Been friends with Jim for many years.
He's a great guy.
We hadn't spoken in a long time, and he actually reached out to me during D-Boy's illness, which meant a lot to both D-Boy and myself. But Jim's a real deal.
Yeah. There's no doubt in that.
What do they say? Mess around and find out.
Yeah. I just saw Jim at a local
popped.
at a tournament recently, and
get
he was
hit.
speaking to somebody, or somebody came up to. I forget how it happened, but I said, I introduced Jim to the guy, and I said, "This is one of the few guys in MMA that I like." Like we had different competition teams. Our guys competed against each other, but there was never a personal beef.
No.
It was business. It was like your fighter's going against my fighter. Great. At the end of the day, okay, cool. I never had any real, and I know people who had a lot of beef with Jim.
No, I think
and he handled it.
Yeah,
he would handle it.
Like any real relationship, the longer it lasts, you're going to have ups and downs.
Sure.
I've
Absolutely.
had issues with almost everybody across the board at some point in time, but in the end, everybody is who they are,
right?
And you kind of deal with it. But we talk a lot about jiu-jitsu. I never got into this for jiu-jitsu. I was always an MMA fan.
Right.
To me, MMA was always the game. And at one point in time, we had 11 guys fighting on the circuit.
Yeah.
That's when it was, to me, the most fun. When I would go to a card and literally half the card was my guy.
Yes,
Yeah. Your whole team's on
my
there.
team was the same
Go-
way.
I was going to say very parallel.
Yeah, very parallel.
Going to Bellator.
Yes.
Being backstage between, and I told you, last time I was in Bellator, Robbie Lawler was sitting next to me, and Hoist came up to me, my Hoist Gracie story. He said, he couldn't get his phone to work. He said, "Can I borrow your phone?" I said, "You're not going to call Brazil, are you?" And he goes, "No." I go, "Okay, I'm watching." He used my phone and gave it back to me. That's my entire Hoist Gracie interaction.
That's awesome. I wonder who he called. I
don't know.
wonder if it was Jeff.
He was screaming.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I think his phone died.
Probably
or
wasn't
something.
me.
But I said to Jeff, had that been 10 years earlier, I'd be like, oh my God. At that point in my life, I was just like, okay,
Just another guy.
Yeah, just another
another guy. Propagation of MMA, 2009 was it in PA? Is that about the time frame?
I'm trying to think. It was 18. It was 18 years ago.
So right around that. Yeah, 2008, 2009. It started to become. And
That's when I
the PA,
Simrel's.
the PA Athletic Commission.
Yep. It was definitely around then.
Heavy-handed in that.
Mr.
A lot of
Serb.
rules, a lot of regulations. Yeah, I had a working relationship with him, but not one of my favorite people.
I had a good relationship with him because it's smart to have a good relationship with him.
Sure.
Yeah.
I actually have an interview out there I did with him for about 2.5 hours a few years ago. It's kind of interesting. We talked all about it. Interesting guy. Don't miss him in terms of that setting, but I'm also out of that setting.
Right.
But yeah, he and I worked very closely at the beginning because we ran the second MMA show in PA by 24 hours.
Yeah.
I think Warrior Challenge got one off the night before we did. And we had the next one. And I talked to him beforehand and I said, listen, I'm buying a ring. Am I good? You're good. 3 weeks later, can't use the ring.
do it.
Can't use the ring. Now you need a cage.
Yes.
And then I said, oh my God. So I went from MMA, I started doing the pro grappling and some seminar stuff. And we did some kickboxing shows. We used the ring for kickboxing, the pro grappling. We went in that direction.
Yeah. Because another guy that was involved at that time was Maury Nemi. And he had, if not the first fight inside of the cage, maybe the second fight inside of the cage. PA cage fight.
PA cage fight.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was there at that
because that's who Jimmy was with, Jimmy Hedges.
Yeah.
Because Joe
was with you.
Well, he was training with me, but he's saying on that promotion.
Oh, you're like signed with that promotion.
Yeah,
you were his coach, though.
Yes.
Because Joe,
I was coaching him, but he was fighting for PA cage fight. Yeah.
Joe was PA cage fight 2-time champion, and Jimmy was right ahead of him.
Yeah.
Is that what the Gary Peters was PA cage fight as well?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of our guys were PA cage fight. Tyler fought for them, and they were a fairly large organization.
Yeah, they were the big wigs around here. Because then you had Morgan.
Morgan
was Dave Morgan.
Yeah,
no, Sam Morgan, wasn't it? Old gray hair guy out in Jersey running a bunch of shows. Used to run around with a young lady about 30 years younger than him.
I know who you're talking about. Yes,
he-
I forget the name of his organization though.
Yeah.
But we had gone down to Egg Harbor a bunch of times to fight, and because Jersey had more lax rules than PA, it was pretty strict with their rule sets.
This was in a ring in a nightclub, and the ring fell apart in the middle of Joel's fight, and he fell out and fell 4 feet to the ground and knocked himself out.
Yeah.
It was like what's that movie with Kevin James?
Oh, Here Comes the Boom.
Here Comes the Boom.
Yeah. Yes.
Those backstage scenes, man. It's like this is so with the chickens running around.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I remember sitting in the top of a church somewhere with rats running through it and saying, "Oh my God, it's got to get."
It was the
better than this."
Wild West back then. I mean, it really was. I had a similar thing where I was at I think it was over here somewhere locally. Gary Grant, that's a local guy, right?
Yeah.
Gary Grant,
Still running shows.
He's still running shows, but he was, and same thing. The door came off, and they went right out of the thing. I thought they were dead. But it was the Wild West back in the early days, man. There was fights in the locker room between teams, and you can't have this team in the same locker room as this team. Right. It was just like, good Lord, man.
Well, it's like when
crazy.
A Grappler's Quest. I remember back in the early days on the circuit, the grappling circuit. Naga was always kind of tame, but man, Grappler's Quest. You didn't go to the bathroom by yourself at Grappler's Quest. Because they brought in teams from all over. It reminded me of the Warriors. With all the different gangs.
Yeah.
And God, these guys.
Very tribal.
Jiu-jitsu
was very tribal.
It's nerve-wracking. You're sitting there literally next to the Aryan Brotherhood with the swastikas tattooed on their heads.
Yeah.
You got an Asian team sitting next to them. Yep. You got this guy, and you're like, oh, my gosh, this is crazy.
Yeah. And these are the things you don't forget those things.
No.
Like, you're just like,
It was fun. I miss... And the guys at the gym get tired of hearing my stories, but I miss the days. I always tell them, I bought a tap out shirt right out of the trunk of their car.
Out of the car,
out of the tap out guy's car.
Out of the tap out guy's car,
Charles,
right out of the back seat of their car.
Yes.
That's where I bought my. I mean, I went to the bathroom one time. Hickson was on my right, and I forget who it was on my left. UFC 30, I think, was the first one at the Taj Mahal. I'm sitting, Don Fry's where you are.
Yeah.
Mark Kerr's where you are. And I'm sitting there drinking with these guys. Yeah. And, I had a great conversation with Don Fry where I said, I had bought a T-shirt and I said, and D-Boy was a little guy at the time. I said, could you sign this for my son? He goes, you let your son watch UFC? I go, yeah, I just tell him it's fake like wrestling. Puts his arm around me, goes, let me tell you, son, some of it is. Some of it is. And this is when he was in Pride at the time.
Yeah.
So, you don't get stories like that anymore.
No. Everything is much more above board now.
You go to an event now, you're lucky if you can see the cage.
Right,
let alone what's in
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
My son just asked me, so the UFC fight tomorrow night is in Philadelphia, and he wanted to go. He's into the UFC now, and he loves Islam, and he wants to, and obviously I couldn't go just because of things that are going on. We couldn't make it, but the first and only UFC event I ever went to was in Philly. I think it was 101.
Okay.
So think about how long ago that was. What did I at now? 324 or whatever it is. It was UFC. I went with Billy Wagner.
Okay.
And we ended up, because we thought it was the first and only time we were ever going to go, we ended up getting like one of those, like where you have like the private bar in the bathroom, but then you sit down in that section. And even then we were still, it's not like we were ringside, but we had pretty good seats. In fact, that was the fight. Do you remember? I mean, you do remember when Anderson Silva knocked out Forrest Griffin with that jab.
Yes.
That was the card. So that was the main event. Kenny Florian got mopped by BJ Penn that night.
Yeah.
So it was BJ Penn Florian was the co-main event. And it was one of what's-his-name's first fights in the UFC that he ended up becoming a 170-pound welterweight champion was Johnny Hendricks.
Okay.
He was on that card too. So yeah, that was the first and only time I went to the UFC, and I considered that good seats. Now I've never been like good seats, like ringside, but now forget it. If I bought those tickets for me and my son, who knows if we, like you said, we'd have to watch it on the big screen.
He would be disappointed, I would think. I stopped going. I went to 3 shows at the Taj Mahal.
Okay.
I think it was like 30, 32. It was Tito Ortiz versus Evan Tanner. We're talking Randy Couture versus Pedro Hizzo.
Okay, yeah.
Matt Serra, Shoney Carter. I mean, this is the old days.
Is that the back fist fight?
Shoney Carter.
That was the back fist fight.
And I don't know what the Taj held. I'm going to say like 7,500 people. I mean, and so it was really small. It was really intimate, and that was fun. Next time I went was Jimmy's last fight, Jimmy Heddy's last fight against Barao or whoever it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was like, ew, I hate it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's like guys walking around with replica belts and there was children.
Yeah.
And there was women and nothing against women and children, but man,
Right.
the first time I took D-Boy to a UFC, they stopped and took his picture because they'd never seen a child at the event before. He was the only kid there.
Yeah.
Everybody else looked exactly like me.
Right.
Short,
Yes.
bald, tattooed, and ugly.
Yeah, they knew their demographic. Yeah.
And
not to get off track, but I just want to say this because there's another guy, super talented, and made it to the highest level of the sport,
Yes.
Jimmy Hedis, and what a great dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Treated everybody from white belt to black belt the same, had time for everybody. You know what I mean? Hardworking guy outside of the ring. Just a great kid.
Yeah,
not that he's a kid anymore, but
No, he's not.
I'm
I mean,
old.
we're old, so
Yeah.
we call people
Great
kids.
dude.
We actually, D-Boy did one of his seminars at Jimmy's place. And Jimmy had come down to us a lot. Yeah, we were always good friends. And he was always good to my son and good to us. And a good guy to train with because he's not a behemoth.
No, he's a smaller guy.
Slight guy.
Yeah.
And, but that judo trip, oh my God!
Judo Jimmy Hedis.
You know it's coming.
Yeah.
You know it's coming.
He was going to launch it with it.
And
for
you're-
sure.
And you're going down.
He was going to launch.
And you're going down.
I have 2 things in my head I want to talk about. But since we're talking about people that went to the highest level, Matt Riddle comes out of Rat Pack Fighting System.
Of course.
Matt Riddle comes out of Rat Pack Fighting System. What was your introduction to Matt?
Oh, that's a great story. Actually, one of the more fun moments is if there's a WWE special out there with me in it for when he made it to the WWE.
Yes.
So the Riddle story is an interesting one because there's so many levels to it and so many layers to it. So flashback to our underground, we're the scum of the earth, blah, blah, blah. We're untalented. We made it to Ultimate Fighter when Ultimate Fighter mattered.
Yes.
This is the Kelly Clarkson days
Right.
of what you call it. We literally season 7 it still mattered.
It did.
It was a household thing. You got together, you watched it. Now we're on season 365.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Right,
And,
yeah, nobody-
it's your brother's friend from high school fighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was really the 2 or 3 things that took the gym to the next level was Joel making it to pay-per-view in King of the Cage, first guy anywhere from around here to fight on pay-per-view and winning in 92 seconds, being brought in to lose and winning. We were literally in the locker room and they're like, you're in the loser locker room. We're like, no, man, we're good. Like, no, you're losing. That's what you were brought here to do. I said, oh, we're not going to.
Right,
So it was D-Boy starting to hit it on the Naga circuit.
Yes.
When he was, and people Naga. He fought Malachi Edmond twice, IBJJF world champion. He fought Jamal Hill twice, IBJJF. He fought Chris Tran 3 times, IBJJF world, and beat all of these guys at one point in time. So he was starting to make it. And then this kid walks in my gym. And I have seen, and I think if there is a talent, I will give myself this thing. My talent in this business is A, having an eye for talent.
There you go, yeah.
And B, I can show you what you can do better than anybody else. I will tailor the game to you just by looking at you. Even though I can't do it, I can tell you exactly what you can do to win. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to go defend yourself on the street. I don't know if you're going to be able to pass a test for a belt.
Right.
But to win this particular match or this fight,
yes,
here's what we're going to do, and we're going to win. So this kid walks into my gym. At the time, he's 21 years old. And it was as though there was a light shining over him.
Yeah.
He's in a room. This is when we were hot, man.
Yeah.
We were 11 fighters strong.
Yeah.
Tough room. And it looked like God had walked in. And he had that goofy, affable smile, blah, blah, blah. And he started hitting the bag and hitting the mats and hitting the pads and rolling and et cetera. And then about an hour later, a woman walked in and she goes, is Matthew still here? And I said, who's Matthew? She goes, my son. And I said, is that your son over there? She goes, yeah. And I go, yeah, he's still here. She goes, how did he do? I said, he did great.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, great. If he likes it, how much is it to train here? I said, how much does he want? And she goes, excuse me? I go, how much does he want to train here? She goes, I don't understand. I said, I will pay him to train here. And she goes, why? I said, because if he likes this business at all, we're going to be famous in 6 months. 6 months to the day later, it's snowing. I call Matt, you ready? Dude, I'm not going to go. I'm like, dude, we are going. It's the Ultimate Fighter tryouts. We did a video. We signed up for this. We competed. Right. We got you an MMA fight so you could get in this. We're going. Dude, it's snowing out. I don't feel like going. Go over to his house, literally, as much as I physically can, drag the man out of his basement, and we go to the Ultimate Fighter tryouts. We walk in, and it was in a hotel in Jersey. There had to be, the weight class is 185.
Yeah.
There had to be 75 guys in there. You're talking huge. And I can name some of them, and you'd know them.
Right.
Yeah.
Dana White comes out and he goes, you dumb SOBs, if you haven't seen 185 pounds since you were in 3rd grade, I don't know what the hell you're doing here. You're wasting my time and yours. So he throws out like 3/4 of the room just because these guys are literally
they're not cutting weight. They're not making a cut.
I remember Tommy Waltermeyer was there, I think, and he walked up to me. He goes, "That's your boy?" Because Riddle had on bell-bottom jeans, a Charlie Brown striped shirt, baseball hat backwards, and flip-flops in a snowstorm. And when it came, he took his shirt off, and guy comes up to me. I knew the guy, and he goes, "Is that your boy?" I go, "It is." He goes, "If he can throw a punch, you just made the Ultimate Fighter."
Right, because he had the look.
He had the look.
He
had the look. So of course, then he made Ultimate Fighter, and that just sent us into the stratosphere because we were the first gym in this area.
Of course,
to make it, and as he said on the show, everybody else here is from Team Quest. Right. An American Top Team, and his exact quote was, "I come from a little gym in Palmerton, Pennsylvania called the Rat Pack."
Yeah,
and that just sent us, and that was like the culmination of all this nonsense.
Right,
was like here because we were the only. Now, we were the only ones to make it, and I still say we're the only ones in the area who have action figures. So there you go.
That's true.
And he's got 2 action figures, one from the UFC and one from WWE.
And he's got about 9 from WWE. He got them all. And a plushie. So he made it to the UFC. And at that point in time, we kind of parted ways for various reasons that, don't need to be into. But we stayed in touch peripherally. And I watched him through the troubles with the weed. And,
Yeah,
and
sure.
It wasn't a surprise.
Right.
None of this was a surprise. And then when he got fired, he actually called me, and I actually have this letter too. And he said, "What do you think about WWE or wrestling?" I said, "You've always wanted to wrestle. Let's try it."
Yeah.
So I composed a letter and I sent it to two people. I sent it to Danny Cage down at Monster Factory, and I sent it to the guys at Ring of Honor. And I said, "Look, I have a unique opportunity here.
Right.
I have
Kid's got a name.
He's got a name. He's on the news every day right now.
Right.
He loves pro wrestling, and I can tell you, he will be the biggest crossover star in this direction that wrestling's ever seen. I guarantee it. Not the other way around, because you got Brock Lesnar going over that way.
Right. Yes.
I said, but he will be the biggest star. So we went to Ring of Honor, and we went to Danny Cage, and the champion at Ring of Honor. He comes out to me real cocky. He was the wrestling champion. He goes, "Who's your boy?" I go, "You know who my boy is. Let's not act like you don't know who he is."
Right. Yeah.
And then he goes, "So is he going to get busted for weed again?" I go, "I thought you didn't know who he was."
Right.
2 seconds
Right.
ago,
Yeah.
he was my boy. Now we know the whole backstory.
Right.
And I looked at him. I said, "Sir," I said, with all due respect, I said, he's going to be the biggest thing. I said, he's going to, don't sleep on him.
Right.
Don't sleep on
Yeah.
him. Lightning will strike twice. And 4 years later, he was WWE Tag Team Champion. And,
Yep. Yeah.
and Lightning struck twice. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and had a good run in WWE until, again, the same demons kind of catch up with
the
us.
demons caught up to
Yeah,
him. The
yeah.
demons caught up to him. How many people would give their lifeblood to have one of those opportunities?
Right.
Let alone both.
Let alone both.
Let alone both.
Yeah.
But that's where, and I always use him as an example for a lot of things in this business. And I know they're not popular opinions, but it really, so I always tell people the biggest lie in sports is that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That's true unless it's really good talent.
Right.
If it's really good talent, it doesn't have to do anything to be better than you. It's always going to be better than you, no matter what. Because I would literally take this man to seminars, and we would stop on the way, and we would have Big Macs and perhaps a smoke or two.
Right.
Show up at a seminar, 40 guys go through every single one of them like butter, walk out, have another Big Mac and maybe another smoke or two, and go home.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, these guys with the protein drinks and this and the other thing, I'm like, dude, you have no idea. So I used to tell them, I know it was shitty, but I liked it. I would say, here's what I want you guys to do, because I know a lot of you guys are thinking about becoming MMA fighters. I said, I want you to look at this man and go home and look at yourself. If you see a difference, don't quit your day job. If you don't see a difference, get a new mirror because you're wrong.
Right.
And I go, and recognize this guy's not headlining the UFC. This guy's barely
He's breaking in.
He's barely in the UFC.
He's breaking into
and
the
he
UFC.
just killed you.
Yes.
High and full of Big Macs.
Yeah.
So if he can do that, I'm not thinking this is a career that you want to
this might
pursue.
not be a career you want to invest in.
Yeah, you may want to try a different path. And I used to infuriate people, but we would go in the car and just laugh
Yeah.
and go home. But it's true. I mean, it was a once in a lifetime talent that I have never seen anything close to it before. I mean, think of it. The man had one fight before the Ultimate Fighter, and it lasted 45 seconds at the Mohegan Sun.
Yeah.
One amateur fight.
Yep.
He trained jiu-jitsu for 3 months and went on a tear through black belts at Naga, Copa Atlantas, and everywhere else. He only lost to Nolan Dutcher, who is a leg lock specialist, monster from hell that has tapped everybody under the sun. And that was his first match. And he was just going through people. I mean, Simrel met him, handed him a purple belt.
Yeah.
He's like, here you go. He goes, I don't have a blue belt. He goes, I'm not giving you a blue belt, son. No, you're not doing the blue belt thing.
Yeah.
And Jim worked with him a lot on the striking.
Yes.
Yeah, we used to take him up to Simrel and work on the striking because Eric Gutch wasn't always around and available.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great story.
Yeah.
I saw him 2 or 3 months ago. He wrestled in a small place out by me, and he was great. It was great to see him. It's a little sad, the level of the wrestling.
Right. Yeah.
He's wrestling in Slatington, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But he'll make it back. I think they'll take him back.
Yeah. Oh, you think so?
Yeah, he's big enough.
There's always a path back.
How old is he now?
39.
Okay. But probably still in great physical condition, right?
Yeah,
He's a
he looks
genetic
great.
freak.
Yeah. He looks great. He looks great. I mean, he looks great. And I can tell you there were no performance enhancing drugs. I was going to say there were no drugs. I'm not going to say
right,
that.
of course.
Definitely there were drugs.
I will say that the physique and the talent,
Natural.
all natural, because he came in that way. He was wrestling at ESU when he came to us. He was wrestling with Scotty Heckman out at ESU.
Yeah, because he came from New York. He
came from New York.
And he wrestled in New York.
He came from New York.
Yes.
He got a partial scholarship to ESU.
East Stroudsburg, yeah.
Wrestled for 2 years. Then they lost his scholarship. So he dropped out, and literally that day came to us.
Right.
And said, I got to try something else. What do you think about MMA? And I said, let's do it.
And you know, I tell my son this. I'm like, I look at wrestling now, the WWE now, and sometimes for me it's hard to watch, and because like, I'm like, that guy's a wrestler. I'm looking at the screen. The guy's built worse than me. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't, Kevin Owens.
I think you're built better than most of them. I think you're underplaying it a bit. You're in great shape.
Like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Like, listen, they're probably awesome guys.
Yeah, they're high flyers.
You understand what I'm saying? And they're probably, not probably, I've seen them wrestle. They're great wrestlers.
Yeah.
But when we grew up watching wrestling, if you didn't have a physique, other than like a King Kong Bundy type of physique.
See, I'm older than you. When I grew up, if you weren't 500 pounds like Haystack Calhoun, you had to be a freak.
Yeah. Yes.
You had to be a freak. So it was a lot of big, fat, freaky guys. And I'll tell you, those guys were huge. I used to train at a bodybuilding gym when I was in school in Philly. And we would get all the athletes. Now, I don't know anything about sports or athletes. So guys from the Eagles would come and I would have no idea, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they were big. When the wrestlers came in, and I'm not even talking about the guys you would think of. I'm talking guys like Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Guys that you don't think are that
Are big. They're big.
They're
Yes.
huge.
Yeah.
They're gigantic. So when guys like Hogan would come through,
Forget it.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy the size of these human beings. They were all, and that's the problem. They're not freaks anymore.
Right. What I'm saying is they look like the everyday man, and that did not exist in wrestling back then.
Right.
That's just not what we're used to.
No,
now
definitely.
you can see an everyday looking dude up there. There's like that new guy with the face paint. He just looked like a regular. I don't even know the names.
I don't know.
But Matt had that
the
wrestling.
look.
He had that look, that physique, that chiseled physique.
He had the look. He's very, very good at turning on the charm.
Yes.
With the public.
Yep.
He comes off as lovable.
Yes.
And goofy.
Yep.
And it sells. And it sells. So do I think they'll take him back? I think there's a chance they'll take him back.
That's good.
So I think they need him. Because he's still a name, and he's really hitting it on the indie circuit right now. So
that helps.
He's keeping his name out.
Yeah.
That helps.
You know.
Good. Question I always like to ask: How does, in your case, how does practicing law help your gym career, and how does your gym career help practicing law?
Practicing law helps my gym career because it's allowed me to do it. It's given me the financial freedom to do it, because I have to do everything on my own terms. And this is a me problem, not a oh, I'm wonderful. I always tell people, if you invite me to your wedding, I will give you a gift. If you don't make me come to your wedding, I'll send you 10 times the gift, because I don't want to come. I
You're like some of my buddies.
I don't want to come to your party. Right. I would love you to come to my party.
Right.
But I don't want to go to yours. I want to be my own show and run my own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because I've had the financial, and because I've had the real estate available, and own my own gyms all the time, I always own the building. So I was able to put the gym in a building I own.
Right.
It's practicing law has given me the financial ability to do it.
Yeah.
The MMA world's the only thing that's kept me sane and kept me able to practice law. It does give me a sense, and I will give myself this. I compare myself physically to the guys that we train with every day. That's probably not a fair comparison. They're not my peers. They're 18, 21, 24, 25-year-old guys, or even older guys like yourselves who've been training for years, et cetera, who do this for a living. That kind of. This is who I'm comparing myself to when I say, "Oh, I'm horrible. I suck. I'm terrible. I'm out of shape."
Right.
When I go into my world, And I look at some of these guys, and I go,
"You're way ahead of the game."
And I go, "You're 40 what?"
Yeah.
I'm 41. I'm like, "You're 41."
Yeah.
You're 41.
Right.
And they're like, "Well, how old are you?" I got 61.
And they're like, "No way."
They're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, really."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, yeah." You know, so I do have a bit of an arrogance, and I have used the line on more occasions than I wish, because I don't generally get along with attorneys. I don't get along with attorneys because I know who they are, and I tell them this, and I say, "Listen, I understand. You sat up in your bedroom all those lonely nights in high school when other people went to the prom and did all those other things, saying, 'I'll get you one day, I'll be a lawyer,' et cetera, et cetera. I got it. It's cool. Here's the difference. I went to the prom.
Right.
I was pretty goddamn cool in high school. I've always been pretty cool since grade school. So I don't have that chip. I don't have
Right.
the chip we talked about.
Yeah.
I have that chip. I
That's
don't
a different
have.
chip. Yeah.
I said so I'm a happy guy. Yeah. I said, but if you come at me and yelling and screaming and trying to bully me, do you really think that's going to work? I'm going to be in a cage in about 12 hours with 18-year-old men
trying to kill me,
who want to kill me, not because they don't love me, but because they want my approval.
Right.
Look, Nick, look what I can do to you. Thank you. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fully understand what you can do to me. Appreciate that.
Yes.
You're getting better. Great.
Yeah.
I said, so don't come to me and don't try. And I've actually at times even intimated that to judges. Like, look, you're trying to rattle me because
it's not going to happen.
That could happen.
Right.
That ain't going to happen, because in that world, I rarely meet people that to sound like Jonah Hill, who I can't annihilate.
Right. Yeah. Dude, that's everywhere now. And it's funny. And I bet he thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't even being serious. But
No, he was joking around with two of his buddies.
Yeah.
You know, he was saying to like Jason Bateman, "I'll annihilate you." Like, you know.
Yeah. And it was so funny. It was like there's
funny.
a little exaggeration in it too.
I
And he
like
knew
Jonah.
it.
It was funny.
He's hilarious.
It was funny.
Well, he's got a chip on his shoulder because
Of course, a
the
fat
weight.
kid forever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, who was it Kimmel or one of those guys that said you smell nice? And he
Oh
goes,
yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
Right. Yeah.
Because why would you assume I don't smell nice?
Right. Yeah.
Is that an ethnic comment?
Right,
Is that a way? Which way are we going?
Which way are we going?
Because either way is
Yeah.
offensive.
It's offensive
And he
to
was
me,
not
yeah.
kidding on that.
Yeah.
He was pissed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
Kimmel stinks anyway.
Yeah, he's terrible.
I couldn't stay up that late.
You said, you know, you like having things on your terms and in kind of in your wheelhouse. Is that the inspiration for you starting in COSI?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
So when did that begin? I know I competed on it. Number of my guys competed on it.
In COSI started when I went to an MMA show that Ed Sue ran. Remember Ed? Mm-hmm. And we got into the ring. We were going to be main event, and our opponent wasn't there. And they never told us this. Like we'd been through weigh-ins,
Right.
and all this stuff, and they didn't tell us. And it was kind of like everything else in my life. I get my arrogant. I said, I can do this better.
Yeah.
I know I can do this better. Yeah, it's that same mentality, and I think it's more of a flaw than an asset. I always feel like I can do this. I would go to grappling shows. I'd be like,
I don't think that's a flaw.
I can do this.
Right.
So I went to Dylan used to compete in the AGLs and PGLs over in Jersey. That's where I met Gordon, who I had on many of my shows, and who Dylan ultimately fought at the PGLs years later. And
Gordon Ryan.
Yeah. Gordon, I had Gordon. We met Gordon at the AGLs when Gordon was 16 and Dylan was 15, or vice versa.
Oh, so they're that close in age.
Oh,
I didn't
or
realize
vice
that.
versa. I think maybe Dylan may be a year older. They were very close. They were both competing at the AGLs, and nobody knew who he was. And again, this is my one talent in the business. I said to Dylan, I said, "Did you see?" He goes, "Yeah, I saw that dude." He goes, "Dad, did you see he has jiu-jitsu tattooed on his arms?" I go, "I hope
At
he's
16.
but he looked different. He had that same
Sure,
look.
yeah.
He had that look that I'd only seen once before. And he was there, and I was talking to Dante Rivera. And Dante Rivera goes, "Oh yeah, that kid." He goes, "You watch. He's going to be a multi-time world champion. There is no doubt." So then when I started in COSI, I'd gotten friendly with Gordon through that a little bit. So I messaged him. I said, "Hey," and he did my first. Well, he fought Carmelo Morera on one of my shows.
He
was 17.
Yeah. You know, Gordon was there. Carmelo was there. Tom DeBlas competed in COSI.
great guy.
Jeff Reese competed at Acosta.
That's right.
Yeah, great. Tom DeBlasic.
Tyler Calvi.
Tyler was it? Yeah.
Tyler fought D-Boy
We were all there.
That was a fun match.
And
they were very
very respectful of each other.
Yeah, and I'm going to say very well run.
Tyler's an animal.
Very well run program. Everything was great.
When D-Boy was getting ready for the EBI Combat Worlds down in Mexico, we went and trained with Tyler.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That is
incredible.
That is
incredible.
Hard business.
Yes, he's my Darth Vader.
I mean, he is truly. I think he's probably.
I've never even seen anybody give him trouble.
But that's it. I think he's one of the most dominant grapplers I've ever seen because he rolled with 2 or 3 of my guys. I mean, D-Boy looked like the Wicked Witch under the house in Wizard of Oz. All you could see was his little feet sticking out.
Right.
And literally, he never got off his back.
Yeah.
He never
but
moved.
he was game, though.
It was literally 5 minutes of just. This was in the gym.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was in the gym. No, they put on a show at Incosa.
They did.
There was no show in the gym.
Yeah.
It was
No,
literally,
it was
I'm
just a
taking you down
smash fest,
and squishing
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
World championship my ass, son. Do this. And D-Boy's like, that was a mistake. He's a monster, that kid. True monster. Really, really physical.
Yeah. And so do we have plans of bringing Kosi back, or because it's been on the shelf for a little bit?
Probably not. There's a lot of been there, done that at this stage of my life.
Yeah.
And Kosi was always stressful. And there's a lot of stories behind Kosi. I mean, I always kid the guys down at Finishers, 10th Planet. Well, that's how they met Eddie Bravo. My partner Lars brought Eddie Bravo in through Nkosi for a seminar in Allentown, and that's when John Holland and Zach Maslany met Eddie Bravo. And then they took off and created the business that I wish I had created because they did a great job. Now, unfortunately, they're no longer together down there, but Finish has really taken off and taken the business by storm and in a new direction. I'm very proud of what they've done with it. They kind of took what we seeded and ran with it in a new direction, and they've done a great job, and they've always been supportive of me and D-Boy and my stuff, so I'm always supportive of them. But we did a couple grappling shows over the last couple of years because a friend of mine had a venue. But at this point, with his health scare and him being out for 18 months, it was literally me running the gym with my other guys. And as much as help as they were, without the franchise player, it was difficult. So I think a lot of my fire is gone. I just don't have, and Kosi used to get so stressful, and he would always say to me, or both my kids would say, Dad, it's not your real job.
Right.
This isn't life or death. I'm like, but this guy's not making weight, or this guy is who cares?
Right.
It's a grappling match.
Right.
I said to somebody down at Naga, when I'm at Naga, I said, I don't know, half the guys I want to go up to and say, listen, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
You lost a grappling match. Nobody cares.
Right.
And then I want to go up to the other guys and go, listen, it's not the end of the world. You won a grappling match. Nobody cares.
Right.
How many times do I say nobody cares?
You should stop crying.
Nobody cares.
You need to stop crying, and you need to stop gloating. Because the only person that saw that match was me, and I don't care.
Right.
Because I don't know you. But I doubt I'll do Nkosi again. I know Zach got authorized to do combat, and I know he got licensed to do MMA under the new commissioner.
Okay.
So I've told the guys down at Finishers that if they ever did run a show, I would love to be peripherally involved.
Okay.
I'd love to come.
You have the experience.
Run the backstage, do something.
Yeah.
They'd be crazy not to.
I don't want to be in charge anymore.
Right.
Again, we've done it. We did, Nkosi did the second MMA fight. We did the first pro grappling tournament. We did the first submission only tournament. We did a lot of firsts, and there's really nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
There's really nowhere else to
So
go.
where are your competition guys? What promotions are they fighting for?
I don't have any guys fighting anymore.
Not yet?
None.
Okay.
We don't have MMA much anymore.
Okay.
D-Boy kind of got rid of the MMA when he started taking over. Scott and John have no interest in MMA.
Yeah,
right.
I've got kickboxers.
Okay.
I've got guys striking. I've got guys competing at USKA quite often in kickboxing.
Right.
But I really don't. When I get guys that are into MMA now, I send them other places.
I generally do the same thing.
Yeah.
I just got burnt out from MMA. It was.
Yeah.
I did it, been there, done that.
Yes.
Had very successful fighters come up underneath us.
And they become cumbersome.
They they become yes.
Yeah.
It was a very what have you done for me lately business. Take, give nothing back.
Exactly.
And I just got sick of all of that. I said, I'm giving away so much of myself physically, emotionally, mentally, driving, not charging you a damn dime. And I'm, you know, I'm buying hotel rooms.
How many
and this, and
vacations
finally
did you
it was
miss?
just
How many family outings did you miss? How many hotel rooms? And people are like, oh, you get to stay at all these hotels. We weigh in and we go sit in a hotel room. They can't eat, they can't drink.
Right.
They're
you're not going for
rehydrating.
breakfast.
It was necessary when we did it, especially for me with the backlash from the internet.
Yeah.
But no, we don't have. I mean, we've got a couple guys that tinker around with it. I still love it. But if anybody says they want to compete MMA, I say, look, you can train jiu-jitsu with D-Boy or Scott and John. You can train striking with Lewis and Matt. But as far as MMA, finishers will have you as their guest, or I'll send you somewhere else. And that's what they do.
Got it.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coaching wise, both of your children trained.
Yes.
Yes. Harder to coach your son or daughter?
My son, my son's uncoachable. And I don't mean that in a bad sense.
No, I understand.
My daughter,
yes.
I think my daughter, one thing that my daughter, I think frustrates her was that there was no women's wrestling when she was coming up. She sees it now and she's like, man, I would have been really good at that.
She would have,
and she would have been. She was very good at jiu-jitsu. She still hits like a truck, man.
Yeah.
She still trains stand up. And it's talked about going back to jiu-jitsu because we now have a woman instructor. Going back to jiu-jitsu once she's out of the PD's office and whatnot. I'd love to see her go back a little bit. But yeah, she was definitely coachable and definitely talented. And we used to use her when guys would come in and they'd say they want to roll with D-Boy. I'd say, well, let's start with Shannon.
Right.
And you get past her and you get to D-Boy. And she had an amazing guillotine. So these dumb wrestlers would come in and she just
Stick their
neck out. She'd tap them out. I go, yeah, let's not shoot too high, too fast.
Right.
But no, Dylan is uncoachable, and I mean it in this sense. So when we became loosely affiliated with finishers because he was good friends with them, he was cross training, and their rule is everybody takes the class.
Okay.
We don't care if it's Jeff Reese. We don't care if you're Tom DeBlas. We don't care if you're Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
right.
You're coming in. You're taking the class like everybody else.
Yeah.
That lasted about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They said, Dylan, get out of the class.
Yeah.
Because he just didn't care.
What are you doing? No, he doesn't learn that way.
Right.
He couldn't do it.
Okay.
He couldn't do the moves.
In that structure.
They're teaching the truck or some such a
Yeah,
thing.
I know what you're saying.
And he literally is just, first of all, he's blind.
Yeah.
He can hardly see. And he's all tangled up, and his partner's getting and his partner didn't know who he was.
Right.
And his partner's trying to help him. I'm like, look, you don't need
Yeah.
to help him, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And he kept doing this. I remember he coming up to me at the end, and it was time to roll. And he hands me the glasses. He goes, I'm nervous. And I go, why? He goes, well, I couldn't get any of that stuff. It's about time. I guess we're going to find out if it's bullshit or not.
Right.
Comes back 5 minutes later. He goes, yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, we're good.
I killed all those guys.
We're good. Yeah, we're
It's
good.
pretty much bullshit. And he wasn't being committed. But yeah, he just doesn't. He's never taken classes.
Yeah. And these are things I've talked about this in other podcasts where people learn differently.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Well,
people who learn
So
differently.
you're saying he's a kinetic learner.
Yeah, and he can't teach in the traditional sense either.
Right.
And you know what we always say is he can't pass a blue belt test, but I know very few black belts he can't tap in less than a minute.
Right.
And not just with the ankle lock. That's always been.
He was always a leg locker at a time
When
he was ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like it is now. It was a little taboo back then, and he was one of the guys that broke into that leg lock scene pretty early.
But he also has submission wins over some big names with guillotines, with triangles, with all kinds of stuff. And the thing with his leg lock, which is why his seminar, that is such a good series, is he has created it and developed it over the years, and he actually takes you through the transition.
Yes.
He started with a straight ankle lock.
Yep.
Then he would belly it out.
Mm-hmm.
Then they started
Belly down
defending
transfer.
by
Yep.
climbing the back.
Mm-hmm.
Now he lets them climb the back, and he keeps it, and he holds it, and he actually does the same sequence of moves, including wiping his own nose in the middle of it, because he does it every time.
Yeah.
And he does it. And there's a video on Instagram. It's his last 3 matches. And it is, if you put them in front of each other,
You could sync them up.
you can sync them up, and they all knew it was coming, It was all
Couldn't defend it.
It was all in the first 45, 50 seconds. And one of the guys he fought, I saw down at Naga. I said, "How you doing?" He goes, "Love being your son's highlight reel, Nick. Thank you."
Yeah, right.
He goes, every time I go on Instagram, I got to watch that. And I said, "Well, you're not the only one on there. There's
There's other ones. Yeah.
But yeah, so he's really developed that into his own ankle lock, and he teaches.
What does he call it?
D-boy ankle lock.
Okay.
It's the D-boy ankle lock.
Yeah.
But it is intense.
Yeah.
It is intense.
And you're saying that's part of his instructional seminar.
That's a whole seminar.
That whole seminar is the transitions through that exact submission.
The setup.
Okay,
It is,
perfect.
it is literally that submission.
That's awesome.
It's an hour and a half. We've done it 8 or 9 times.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, when even when he starts it off, guys are like, "It's not working." Here, let me try. Boom, bah. It's just boom. And he teaches. Yeah, it's a neat seminar. He shows you everything.
That's awesome.
Shows you how
I want in on that.
how to get in on it and whatnot. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I want to see that.
It's a lot of fun.
We've touched on a lot: lawyer, coach, businessman, father, pioneer of combat sports in the area. Let's take father out of it. So let's take lawyer, coach, businessman, pioneer in the area. A lot of successes. Is there a failure that taught you something? We asked the hard-hitting questions here.
Yeah.
Failure that taught me something.
They're like a failure where you look back and you go, man, that sucked at the time, but boy, did I really learn from
it.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I learned from it as much. I mean, I would tell you that the biggest trials in my life that I've had to kind of work my way through was the fire.
Yes.
And yeah, you mentioned in the last podcast you're a student of Stoicism. I became a student of Stoicism this year, and I listen to something or read something every single day. And the fire taught me a lot, and it's kind of that think of losing everything and can you rebuild type of thing.
Yes.
And we had different fires, and we talked about whether yours is worse or mine. You lost everything personal to
Yes.
you.
Right.
I lost my way of making a living.
Right.
I don't know which one's worse.
Right.
I don't know which one's worse.
Yeah.
They're both bad.
Yeah, you don't want to find out.
They're
which
both
one.
cleansing.
The internet scandal with Rat Pack, because I had so much on the line financially, and because it was something I really wanted, that taught me a lot. And D-Boy's situation.
Yes.
taught
Well,
me
that's
a
why I
lot.
removed father from it, because
Yes.
no father should ever have to go through seeing their son that sick.
Yeah, but here's what it taught me.
Right.
Here's what it taught me. And my daughter had some struggles recently with the bar exam, which I went through with her.
Of course.
Only because she had been so used to just waltzing through everything in life, and you can't waltz through that.
Right.
And when she finally recognized that, I got to really buckle down for this, then she crushed it. And of course, now she's a wonderful attorney. But
Yeah.
I think what and again, this might sound presumptuous and arrogant, but Stoicism teaches you to only worry about what's within your control, and you have to let go of those things that aren't in your control.
So hard to do.
And I don't believe there's that much that's not in my control. And in that instance, what I mean is, so for instance, with my son, we had 3 or 4 or 5 different doctors here tell us we're sorry. This is the end of the road. There's nothing more we can do, and we did not accept that. And I worked at it every single day, specialists and research and whatnot, and we just worked on it and I said, we're going to work on this.
Yes.
We're going to find an answer to this, and we ultimately did, with the help of ChatGPT and some other things.
Of course.
Amazingly. With the fire, I said, okay, we're going to rebuild, and the same thing with the gym. It's not out of my control.
Right.
It's going to be a lot of work.
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of work. Do you really have the stomach to do it? Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I've learned from those things is that that's true. You can't control the weather.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
After that, I think everything else is in your control.
Right,
If you're willing to work hard enough.
Yes.
If you're willing to work hard enough.
Yeah. We just had it recently, I talk about it a lot. Even if you don't want to live your life by a stoic mindset, even just studying stoicism can teach you a lot of lessons. And we just had one of our friends, Bill Wagner, we've mentioned him a few times.
Yeah.
We're working on a new project. I don't want to talk about it right now. It's not quite set yet, but we're working on a new project, and it required criminal background checks. And it said 3 to 5 days, and I think we got up to like 10 or 11 or 12 days, right?
Yeah.
And our friend Bill he's like catastrophizing everything in his brain. It's not coming through. It's it, And meanwhile, Chuck's going, "Did you hear anything?" I'm like, "No, not yet." No. When I hear, I'll hear. Like, it just provides you that center of like, okay, I can't make this happen any faster. Right. So why am I worrying about it? Why am I going to spend any energy worrying about it?
Yeah, and he was in the mindset like, how do I make this
happen faster?
You guys talked about patience on the last podcast.
Yeah.
I have the patience, but if I were to say to you I don't have the anxieties and fears, I'd be lying.
Right. Everybody has
I'm
that,
so stress riddled 24 hours a day. I mean, I just wake up stressed. And that's where, again, with D-Boy's illness, I had reverse nightmares.
What does that mean?
When he was at his worst. So you ever have a nightmare and wake up and go, "Thank God that's not true"?
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
I had dreams and
he was okay.
He was okay.
Oh, wow.
And he was either on the mat.
I wonder if that was your brain trying to protect yourself from all the stress.
Because he went up to, remember, this kid fought at 45. He was 225 pounds.
Yeah. Wow.
In the midst of this thing, and wasn't even eating.
Right.
No, it was just,
and I would think, oh, he's okay. And then I would wake up. I'd be like, shit.
Yeah,
that was a dream.
Reality, yeah.
That was a dream. And with that hanging over your head every single day, I've always
That's crazy.
Stressed.
I've never even heard of that, but like I have a very analytical brain, and now I'm thinking like maybe if you're stressed 24 hours a day, and obviously if your son is going through that, you're going to be stressed. I wonder if that's your brain's way of giving you 8 hours off.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
it was terrible.
Like, wow.
And the job is stressful. I mean, it's stressful work. Everybody I deal with is unhappy. Everybody I deal with is in stressful situations. The pressure, and there's such an entitlement attitude in this world from everybody. What do you mean you don't work on Saturdays? Do you? Well, no, but I'm not a lawyer. What the hell's that got to do with it?
Yeah.
I've been doing this 35 years. I don't know. No, well, can I have your cell phone while you're on vacation? No.
Yeah. Can I have yours?
My mother doesn't have my cell phone. You think I'm giving it to you?
Do not bother me on vacation.
Right.
You can't have my cell phone anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I have an academy cell phone and I have a personal cell phone.
Jeff always says there's no such thing as a jujitsu emergency.
No jujitsu emergency. There's no reason you have to call me about jujitsu.
Right.
None. So some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
We'll cover some different subjects, but I'll start with MMA because you've been a longtime student of the game. Most underrated skill in MMA? Underrated skill.
No, ground striking.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Love that. I just lectured my guys on this the other day. I said, look, even if you guys aren't going to fight, if you're doing this for any self-defense purposes, we're missing a huge gap here. I said, Lewis and Matt are teaching you how to punch and kick. And I agree with the gentleman that was on last time. You don't tell anybody ever punch and kick. That's the worst thing you can do.
Right.
You're not going to do it well. You're not going to be successful. You're going to hurt yourself.
Right.
And it's not going to hurt them. Trust me, you're not that good.
Yeah. Right.
We teach guys to wrestle. And we teach guys jiu-jitsu. But we've gotten away at my place from teaching ground striking. I think it's crucial.
Yeah.
Because you can come in with all the cute little leg locks you want.
Sure.
So if I start punching you in the
face,
head,
right.
it's going to become a whole.
I mean, some of the best ever made a career
Randy
out of it.
Couture made a career out of
GSP. GSP would sit in your guard.
Mark Coleman was the king. And if you're talking about street defense, Mark Coleman's headbutts.
Yeah.
Of course.
Before they
Baby.
illegalized
Yeah.
those things, that was death on a plate. So I think ground striking is.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yes.
It's the one thing I feel like I'm actually not bad at. Because you don't need great cardio. You don't need to be particularly athletic. You just need to hunker down and hit really hard and accurately. And I think I'm okay at that.
Yeah.
So that's why I enjoy it too, because I can actually do it and I can show it. And I think that's I think the
greatest MMA fighter of all time.
John Jones.
John Jones.
That's
Yeah,
not even,
it's just an easy
Whether
question.
you love him, hate him,
and
indifferent.
not even a discussion.
No. There's no GOAT discussion.
And there's nobody on the horizon.
Yeah.
I mean, these new guys, Jones, you look at the list of people he destroyed and when he destroyed
No
them
one has a better resume
and how he destroyed
of
them.
people that he beat.
Yeah.
I mean, what he did to Glover. I mean, nearly broke the man's arm for merely reaching out and touching him. I mean, it was like, it was gross.
Shogun.
What he did to Machida.
Right.
I mean, remember Joe Rogan? Welcome to the Machida era. Well, that didn't last long.
That didn't last. Yeah.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think it's funny. First of all, the I'm coming home walkout, the greatest walkout in the history of all sports. But how funny is it that P. Diddy and John Jones are connected, the two most horrible human beings God has ever created, connected in some way. But yeah, I mean, people go, steroids. Dude, you can give every fighter in the UFC a box of steroids a day. He's still going to
He's
be
going to murder
stop
him.
with that
Yeah.
nonsense.
He's still gonna be.
And he's a jerk. Yes.
Look what he did to Cyril Gahn. Who, again, they're high on all these guys, and then he makes it look easy.
And then look what Sarah Gahn did to Aspinall. And
Exactly.
Pereira.
Right.
Exactly.
And no, it's not.
And Shama and Jones were going back and forth online.
Yeah, it's
And then Cyril Gahn mops Shama, and John Jones was like,
Yeah.
and
calm down.
Calm down. Yeah.
And the young guys, they're like, oh, Stipe. I'm like, Stipe.
No,
I said, he'll be
no,
dead
no.
if he lives through this. And they're like, well, Tom, I said, Aspinall would not get out of the first 30
No way.
seconds.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. And the
get it.
thing that it is about Jones is, well, first of all, you've got three brothers, two are NFL players, and one's in the UFC.
Right.
Again,
all professional athletes.
do you think that was hard work, guys? No, I'm pretty sure they were born that way.
Yeah, genetics.
Genetics, yeah.
But then you've also got
Mentality.
a guy who has a 9-inch reach advantage over guys taller than him.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not even humanly possible.
No, he's built for fighting.
His arms
range,
are
yeah.
literally the longest arms in the world for that size, and he knows how to use them. He's just incredible. Riddle's claim to fame is he's got that one tournament picture where John Jones was third and he was first. They didn't actually wrestle.
Right.
Right.
They
Yeah.
didn't actually wrestle.
Yeah.
But it is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's definitely cool.
It
Yeah.
is pretty cool. to have
It is pretty cool.
John Jones on the podium with you.
What's the funniest excuse you've ever heard from someone to not train?
Does it have to do with tile?
We probably all have one.
I don't know if it's an excuse not to train. I had a guy come in who wanted to train with us, but didn't like the fact that we wore gloves when we hit. He goes, "Oh, you guys wear gloves?" Like, yes.
Yes.
He goes, "Oh, well, that's not what I'm looking for." I'm like, "Well, I don't know what you're looking for."
What are you looking to get cut?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or break your hand?
Break your hand in
Yeah.
training. Like, what are you looking for?
You know, I mean, when you get them more than I do. You've been in the business longer and you do it full time. I mean, if I fight for you, do I have to pay? Okay, first of all, you're not fighting for me.
Right.
Fighting for yourself.
Fighting for yourself.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're not fighting.
Number one.
Right,
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
You're nobody. You're nothing.
Right.
You're not fighting. And yes, you still have to pay.
You have to pay.
I said I've had one guy that did not have to pay. I have lots of guys that didn't have to pay once they started fighting, but not on their first day.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
day
only,
one.
There's only
Yeah.
one guy that came
Gotta
in that
pay your
didn't have to pay
dues.
on his first
Figuratively
day.
and literally.
And I'm looking at you. You're not him.
You're not him. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
not what
exactly.
he looked like.
Yeah.
He
How
didn't.
about you? Your funniest excuse because you giggled.
I mean, we always use that. First of all, I don't, because you know this excuse as long as I do. Did the tile thing? It's got to be real. I didn't make that up.
It did really happen. Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say his name. But that
No.
person must have told me. No, we're
There's a
redoing
tile
the
sale,
bathroom,
yeah.
and I'm like, you coming to class on Thursday, whatever. I think it was back in the day when it was in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I'm like, you coming to class? And he's like, no, we're doing the bathroom and they have this tile sale going. I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Are you telling me that this tile sale is only happening this Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m.? Because that can't be true. And it's just like now, and we still use it to this day, like to tease him because he's still in the game a little bit. And I was like, oh, there must be a tile sale then, I guess, if you're not coming this week. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's craziness to me.
The same thing. I won't drop the name, but the funniest one I ever got was I'm not going to be in the train tonight because my girlfriend has a grape stuck in her butt.
There you go.
What?
And I was like, wait, what? That was my reaction. What? Why? I had so many questions. I didn't follow up. I didn't ask any follow-up questions.
Follow up on that.
I was just like, Oh, okay.
Not
A grape?
Great.
That doesn't even sound that dangerous. I
don't know.
I mean, like you should
I don't
still be
know.
at class.
I mean,
this too shall pass.
Yeah, this too shall pay. I mean, the question was, what's the funniest? I mean, that one kills me.
Now, the one that I find the most frustrating is the this hurts or that hurts, and,
You're
and,
sure.
you're like 18,
Yeah.
and I go,
Oh my God, you'll be recovering 4 hours.
I go,
yeah.
yeah. My line is, you have pissed out more testosterone today than I have left in my entire body, and I'm here, so you can come with your sore. I mean, I don't care what sore. I say, do you want to know what on me doesn't hurt? Because that's a short
Right,
list.
exactly. Shorter list.
This finger's pretty good.
Much shorter list.
When
yeah.
where you are sitting was a training facility. It was all mats, heavy bags, speed bag, the whole thing. We used to grapple down. Jeff's done seminars in this basement where you're sitting right now. Tyler too. I used to have I don't know if you remember, there was a little cork board over there, and I had I had a little paper on the wall pinned to the cork board that says, "If it's important to you, you will find the time. If it's not, you won't."
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's it. I mean, I get guys that I don't have time. I said, listen, I'm going to tell you what my day. I get up at 4:30 every day. That's Monday through Monday, regardless of what time I went to bed or whatever, because under the Stoic teachings, you need to, I'm generally out of the house at 5. I'm in the office. If I go to the gym in the morning, I'm in the office by 5:45. If I don't go, I'm in there by 5. By 9 o'clock, I've done more than this. And why do I do that? Because I know I want to go to the gym later.
Right.
And that's the only way in my lifestyle I can do it.
Right.
And we are running. I mean, I'm running the law firm. I'm running the real estate company. I'm running the gym. I'm trying to, get my daughter's wedding together, doing social media stuff, et cetera, stuff like this. And if you're going to find the time, you're going to find the time.
Yeah.
And I don't train. I mean, I can't say I train religiously anymore. I just don't. It's starting to take its toll. And some of that has to do with the fact that I'm not perhaps living as healthy and clean a lifestyle these days as I should be. Probably drinking a little too often, a little too much, and it makes it hard the next day. But it's also, and frankly, I mean, 50 wasn't hard. 60, it gets harder.
Of course. Every year that passes.
And when
Father Time is undefeated.
Yes.
I went in 2 Fridays ago with this young kid, and he's 17. And I said, listen, it was 5 o'clock. I go, I've been in the office for 12 hours. I'm 60. I'm tired. Let's be cool.
That's exactly what you should have said.
I was sick for 3 days.
Yeah.
Because Dylan kept putting me in with him. It's like, Dad, go with him again. Go with him again. And my ego, I'm like, I literally was physically ill for 3 days. My body just shut down.
Yeah.
And I just said, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. And it's funny because the bigger, stronger guys, like the really, really tough guys, they all know. And they're wonderful.
Yes.
They're wonderful.
If you get the right training partners.
Oh, they're so good that sometimes I'll start to get delusional.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then they remind me, Nick, we were being nice.
Yeah, we're being nice. We're playing. Yeah.
This is just a game.
Settle down, let go of my leg, old man. Which is always depressing. But
What's scarier, an angry fighter or an angry divorce client?
Oh, that's a good one.
divorce client, because of the power of the internet. The power has made people so omnipotent in terms of their ability to affect your business. We got a 1-star review, which really F's up our Google algorithm.
Sure does. Yeah.
You know why? We didn't have parking. We got a 1-star. I got a 1-star review because we charge a consultation fee. They didn't pay the consultation fee.
Right.
They just called the office for a consultation. Which we had a fee. They said no, and they gave me a 1-star review. This is too, and I learned the power of the internet the hard way.
Yes.
Early.
Back in the day. Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I also learned how to use it to my advantage.
Of course.
Back in the day, and I've manipulated a lot of situations over the years by using it. But yeah, so scary divorce clients just because they can literally just wreck your day.
Yeah.
And I probably spend $150,000 a year on advertising and internet stuff,
Yeah.
including a full-time guy that does nothing but that for my firm.
Right.
He's one of my fighters. So yeah, that's scary.
What's one thing somebody should know before getting a divorce? I'm not thinking about that, by the way. In case Tracy's watching, I'm not thinking about that.
Take it easy.
These are just questions. Take it easy.
Take it easy. It's just entertainment.
I'll change the question.
Okay.
Let's not talk about one thing people should think about before getting divorced. Think about what you should think about before getting married.
Okay.
because that's the bigger problem.
Yeah.
All right, I'll
like
say
that.
I say what I was going to say after you're
like
done.
that.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And it comes down to this. Two things. If you look at the person you're walking down the aisle with and you say, you know what, this really bothers me about you, don't get married, because it's not going to change. People don't change. It's not going to get better. I to a person, with the exception of veterans who've come back with issues and people who developed drug or alcohol issues after marriage,
Yeah.
I cannot remember a single person who, if I've asked the question, did you know this problem existed before you got married? And the answer was yes.
Wow.
Well, he hit me once or twice when we were dating,
Yeah.
but, well, I knew he drank, but,
Yeah.
well,
I knew he stayed out till 5 in the morning, but I thought that he would grow out of that.
She
Yeah.
cheated on me at the prom, but, and there is no but.
Right.
Right.
And the other thing is, if you in any way think the person you are getting married doesn't deserve you, or you are somehow better than they are, don't get married, because that's the other problem. And it's really and it's, I'd love to say it's gender-based, but it's not. And the internet's really created this issue now.
Okay.
People settle. Maybe you look like me, and you're you know, and you're better, or you're heavy set or whatever, and you settle for what you can get.
Yeah.
And then the internet exposes you to this whole new world.
Yeah.
And now there's Joe Blow out in Montana who thinks you're beautiful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that
now
is
I
an
got to
issue.
go. Yeah. And it's a lot of insecurities. It's a lot of, well, I didn't get to do this when I was younger, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I just think if you look at your partner and you don't see equality, and I also don't think it works if you see like this, if you're looking
Sure.
up to them,
Right.
and in some way idolizing them, because in that sense, then they're going to be looking down at you.
Right.
It has to be an even partnership,
That's interesting.
because the stuff that people think about goes away, and you know that. Do I think my wife's beautiful? Absolutely. Do I love her dearly? Absolutely. Is it the same physical passion that it was 39 years ago? As
Right,
Mick Jagger says, I just don't have that much jam.
Yeah.
You get tired.
Yeah.
Or Woody Allen's great line. She goes, you were more forceful when we were dating. You loved to dance. He goes, you can't expect me to keep that pace up. I'd have a heart attack. You know?
Right.
But it's mutual. You know,
Right.
it's mutual.
Yeah.
So I think it's got to be an even. It's got to be an even thing.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, when I was younger, and people would ask me if I wanted to get married, and I would say no and stuff like that. And I came from my crew growing up. They all had, before they got married, they had like extensive. Like my one buddy was with his girlfriend like 16 years before they got married, and my other buddy was with his girlfriend for 14 years. They ended up not getting married, but like that's how long the people in our crew were waiting. Me and Melissa didn't get married till 9 years after we started dating. It was 7 years until we got engaged.
How old were you when you got married?
I was, oh my God, 2004. I was 30.
Okay.
So I was 30 years old. So
You had 9 years.
9 years.
But I'm saying you like if you met when you were 29.
Exactly.
you
But
don't have
even when she would mention marriage before we were engaged, and I would, half jokingly, half not say, "Oh, I don't want to get married," and she would be like, "Why?" and this, that, and the other thing, and I'm like, "Do you know?" And I would say this, and this is funny because you're a divorce attorney, but I would say, "You know what the leading cause of divorce is?
Marriage.
Marriage." Yeah, that's what I would say.
I never even thought about marriage, and I never ever thought about children. When I met Sandy, our relationship was at the beginning very casual, and it was very different because in the past I had met people and it was like, wow, and literally within 3 weeks I'm like, I can't stand you. Like I literally,
Right,
if you drop dead tomorrow,
I wouldn't care.
It would be an answer to. I'm not asking for it. I'm just saying it wouldn't hurt if you could work that out for me.
Yeah, right.
And we were the opposite. We met and we had a great time. And we dated, and we did, and it was very casual, and it just kind of grew and grew and grew over time. And then she had 3 things that she wanted, and she said, "I want to be married by such and such an age because I want 2 children, boy and a girl, boy first, 2 years apart, and I want to raise them both Catholic till they make their confirmation." I delivered.
you go.
We got married.
Yeah.
We had 2 children. And then after the second child, she, of course, came back and said, no.
That wasn't the agreement.
No. Get a dog. Get a dog.
That wasn't in the cards.
And it was funny, you said on the podcast, the last podcast, about, you said, my daughter, of course, had to do jujitsu.
Yes.
Because that's what we do until she was a teenager, then make her own choice.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the same way I felt about Catholicism. I said, make them do it till they're teenagers.
Right.
And now
And then they
neither
can
one
make
of
a
them,
choice.
neither one of them was trained in years.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Then you can make a choice. Sure.
But it was, and that was, training in our family came along together. But when my soon-to-be son-in-law very nicely came and told me that he was going to be asking for my daughter's hand at some point,
Right.
I said, well, I usually have 2 questions, but I won't ask you the first. The first is, are you smart enough to be afraid of me?
Right.
But I already knew that was true.
Yeah.
And only because he works for me. So,
Right.
but I said, I'll ask you the second one. Are you prepared to be part of the family business? And he said, which one? And I said, the answer to that question will determine whether or not you can marry my daughter.
Right.
Because I'm going gym. Welcome to the family.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
So.
What's something that would surprise people to learn about you?
Oh, good. I'm pretty much an open book. I don't know. I don't know if it's surprising to learn, but I think the fact that any modicum of success that I've managed to obtain in my life came from negative motivation as opposed to positive. It's sad.
Yeah.
But everything I've ever done, I've done because somebody told me I couldn't.
Very similar to what Alan just said.
Yeah,
I won't be
exactly.
able
Yeah,
to.
very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar to what Alan just said.
And it's sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
I would like something to be positive. So, for instance, my daughter's getting married at one of the most beautiful hotels in the country.
Okay.
And of course, we're doing it because she's my daughter and I love her and I want her to have the best and I want to put on a show and etc. But the real motivation was the first time I went there. It's in Virginia Beach. I went to get a drink at the bar.
I was just there.
I went to get a drink at the bar, and there was a very handsome, tall man to the left and a very handsome, tall man to the right. They served the one to the left. They served the one to the right. They looked at me like I was a monkey that had grown horns. And I turned to my wife, and my daughter didn't even have a boyfriend at the time. I said, when our daughter gets married, she will get married here, and they'll have to serve me and kiss my ass.
That's great.
And that's why I've just signed a check the other day that could pay off the national debt, because and it's all the other positive things too.
yeah.
But the original motivation was just that pissed off kid.
Yeah.
Who it's just, I mean, maybe that's the answer. The answer is that everything in my life, I always tell my people they have fun house mirrors. I still see a 106-pound little boy, all nose and lips, long hair, effeminate features, and whatnot. I said, I know I've grown into my lips and nose now. Now my lips have become a cultural phenomenon. Right. Everybody's trying to get them. I said, when I was a kid, they weren't that popular.
Right, yeah.
They called me things,
Right.
bad things. But I think it's probably that when I look in the mirror, that's what I see.
Yeah.
I don't see the houses. I don't see the cars. I don't see the businesses. I don't see the gym. I don't see the titles, the this, that, and the other thing. I see that 113-pound effeminate little kid that's just trying to figure out life and trying to not get his ass kicked on the way home. Double lunch money.
Yeah.
One in my shoe and one in my pants. Why? So when they take the first one, I can still eat.
Yeah.
I think I have the opposite view. I'll look in my funhouse mirror on the way out, going somewhere, and I'm like, hey, all right, I like this, right? And then someone takes a picture of me, and I look at the I'm like, I am a disgusting monster. Like, I can't believe you took a picture of me because we have to delete that now.
Now we have to delete it.
Because I am not photogenic.
Guilty pleasure. What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, that's terrible.
That's terrible.
I mean, everybody that knows me knows. There's not a restaurant bar within 50 miles of my house that doesn't know exactly what I drink and how I drink it, man. Nick, Grey Goose Martini. Olives, but not.
My wife would get along great.
Olives, but not dirty. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Or Nick, there's no Grey Goose. Why not? You finished it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, well,
Get more.
It was 3 weeks ago.
Go get more.
Yeah, go get more.
I mean, that's probably it. And I kid about it, but I'm also very aware of it. I'm very responsible.
Right.
I don't drink and drive. And I will say this for myself, I'm very good at it. I'm better at it than anybody else I've ever met and anybody else I know, in that I can drink and not change personality, not change direction, I've never said anything I've regretted. I don't get hungover. I've never woken up the next day and say, oh my God, I don't, et cetera, et cetera. I just enjoy relaxing with a drink. And to me, drinking is kind of like watching MMA. If you don't know what you're doing, I don't want you around.
Right.
So don't come to my house for the fights and ask questions. Don't be goofy and say, oh, don't, whatever. You come to my house for the fight, you better know what we're watching and understand it. It's the same way with drinking. I don't want to drink in public. I don't want to drink at a restaurant. I don't want to drink with you. Why? Because I know you're going to act goofy.
Right.
You're going to, I love you, man. And then 10 minutes later, it's going to turn into, I hate you. And, and then I've been out with grown men and they'll start talking about women. Look at, oh my God, don't ever do that in front of me. Or, when I was in college, oh my God. You're going to tell me about a girl you slept with.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I'm going to shoot myself here. So I prefer, you've been to my house. I created a room. It's not as nice as this room.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
It is not. It is a little tiny dining room, but it is my 40 speakeasy lounge. And
I like it.
And I put on the fireplace, and I have a proper 12 tree with 150 bottles of proper 12 on it. And I pour myself my either martini or whiskey, and I sit and I listen to my music. And the only one that's allowed in that room is my wife. And if she goes to bed early, I'm okay too, because I just sit there. And so it's they say
no bourbon. Not a bourbon guy?
Yeah, I'll do bourbon, but cool. I generally, it's bourbon, Irish whiskey, or vodka. I'll switch off. But I just enjoy that. It's the one moment that I get away from all of it. And I just put on whatever I want to listen to. And that's where I lose Sandy a little bit, is on the music choice.
What's the music choice?
I'm doing an exact quote, but I'll clean up the language. Oh my God, I didn't realize I married a gay man. Could we please listen to something besides Broadway for once, for Christ's sake?
See, now that would have been surprising to learn about.
I don't think
that would have surprised me.
I don't think the actual phrase was gay man.
I understand. We understand.
It might have been a different word.
Different word. See, now that would be something.
I would have not have
nobody
guessed
would
that.
guess.
That's why I asked.
I like.
Well, the first thing I walked in here, you got The Greatest Showman on the wall. I said, "Oh my God!"
That's that, and the reason that's there is because that's one of my wife's favorite movies, and obviously,
of course,
and obviously the other one is my favorite movie, The Godfather. But and by the way, I love The Greatest Showman. I think that is an excellent, and we must have watched that 25 times.
I've got my wall of influence in my desk at home, and I've got 2 Don Corleone statues. In my closet now, I have Walter White, the black and white portrait of Walter White from the infamous "I Am the Danger" scene. And that's in my walk-in closet.
I would have never thought Broadway was your jam.
Oh my God!
I would have guessed you were like me, and it was like 90s hip hop.
No, I use music the same way everybody else does, depending on what I'm doing.
Right.
When I'm working, it's classical. When I'm training, it's Dio and Oz. But if I'm sitting listening to music, it is Broadway. That's cool. And
you still listen to Frank and all that stuff?
I do. When and I'll put on, I like Dean Martin a lot.
I have a couple of Dean Martin records there too.
We'll put that on for parties and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But if I'm just listening, it's usually Lloyd Webber or one of the more, even the newer stuff.
And not the newer rap, I hope, because that's terrible.
No,
mumble rap.
No, I listen to a lot of Broadway.
So we'll do some this or that. You have to choose one to train for the rest of your life: boxing or wrestling.
Oh, wrestling.
Wrestling, yeah.
I'm terrible at both, but
that's a tough one for you.
Well, I'll say this: if you're asking me right now, I would say wrestling, because I've boxed, I've done jiu-jitsu, and I've never wrestled, like in the purest sense of the form of sport of wrestling. So because I've already boxed and done jiu-jitsu, then I would pick wrestling, because then I would be able to develop that skill a little better. So wrestling.
My ground game is horrible. My stand-up game is 10 yards down past horrible. I don't know what you call it.
I don't even know what you would call it.
Non-existent. I can get hit if that's a talent.
It is a talent.
Like
It is a
getting,
talent.
yeah,
No, that is a talent. I was just talking
absolutely.
about
And you
this
can't
with
teach
somebody.
it.
I enjoyed getting hit.
And you can't teach it.
Yeah.
You can't teach
You
getting
cannot
hit.
teach that.
And you either have it or you don't. So I was able to train with my guys back in the day. We're talking 18, 20 years ago.
Right.
Because I could get hit.
Yes.
And not cry about it.
Right.
And not whine about it.
Yeah.
And if you broke my nose, you broke my nose.
Yeah.
But I'm terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu or wrestling?
Oh, jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
find
sure.
wrestling
Jiu-jitsu.
incredibly boring. My son wrestled for 10 years. I still don't know how it works.
How it scores
I
and
know,
everything.
I'm like, how did we get to
I
here?
don't either.
Why is he
don't
15
either.
points?
Keep up to explain it to
Why
me.
is he 15 points down?
Yeah.
And I just start screaming, you have to tap. I mean, you do something, Yeah, he wrestled for years. I still don't understand the
Yeah.
sport. I find it incredibly boring. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is the most important of all the arts.
Yes.
Of the of
for
mixed martial
the
arts,
MMA.
Of all,
Yeah.
of
That's
all
the base, yeah.
self-defense
It is
mechanisms, it is the most important.
necessary. Yes.
I always say,
100%.
give me a good wrestler, I'll make a fighter out of him in 6 weeks.
Right.
Give me
It is a very good
give me a
base.
good
Yes.
fighter that's
Very
never
good
wrestled,
base.
and there's nothing I can do for him.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. That's tough. Let's say old school, like the TV's going to get stuck. Old school MMA or modern MMA.
Oh my God, the originals, man! The no holds barred, no weight classes.
Yeah.
The Roziers and the Hackneys and the
100%.
I mean, grabbing the fence.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
Pulling the hair.
in your white undershirt and Joe Sans. And
Yeah. Oh, Joe San.
Chemo was the two guys that really got me into the sport were Chemo. And in fact, D-Boy's got half the Chemo tattoo on his chest. One of his first ones.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was Chemo and Don Fry.
Yeah.
Don Fry to me, with Don Fry, Tank Abbott, still, what is it, a minute and 45 seconds?
Yeah.
Still the greatest MMA fight in the history of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, just
beating each other.
and just animals. So yeah, that old school MMA, because I don't watch any of the sports.
Right.
I don't know anything about
Yes.
sports at all. I can't stand them. I won't watch them.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about them. The one thing, if you want to get my skin crawled, don't ever say my team, please.
My team.
Please don't ever say my team. Because I tell
Not
this
your
story.
team.
You'll appreciate this story. So, and I'm assuming the Eagles were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Yes.
And
were.
I was in Giant grocery store in Walnutport, PA, on a Sunday morning, and I posted on Facebook. I said, I am amazed that it's the day. They have a big game tonight. There's so many Eagle players in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And an attorney wrote, Nick, they're not players. I'm like, no, they're grown men with
Jerseys
jerseys on.
Jersey, yeah.
Some of them with eye paint and other men's and name of
Eye
that.
paint.
They sure as hell better be
On the team. Yeah.
or else this is ridiculous. And he goes, you know what, Nick, we're so sick of your bullshit. You and that, you're the same way about MMA. I go, that's not true. There was a UFC yesterday, and I did not go to the grocery store in shorts and gloves on,
Right.
wearing a belt, running around
Yeah.
like I was actually in the fight.
Shirtless.
I said,
No shoes, no
so,
service.
yeah, that my team stuff. Oh my God, not your team, not your team. Oh please.
No, we won. When people say we won, I'm like, no,
My team
the
won.
Eagles won.
Right.
We didn't.
Yeah. And I'm obviously you could see I'm a big Eagles fan, but I don't usually do the we thing.
No,
I
I don't-
understand
I
that.
don't
too.
do
There's
the
no
we
we.
thing.
I'm not on the
And
team.
look, I know I'm in the absolute lowest minority on earth, but then they go, well, my wife and I are like, well, I root for the Eagles because they're from Philly. No, they're not. What do you mean they're not? They're not.
no.
There's not a single human being
organization
on
is-
that team that is from Philadelphia. I can assure you. They brought the sexual offenders and all them in from other states. and put them on the team. That's how they got they brought the dog
how
killing
foot-
people in
right.
from out of town.
That's how football works.
You know?
Yeah. Would you rather a fight end knockout or submission?
Oh, sub. Always a sub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
more
submission
fun.
too.
Yeah.
And
You can go watch boxing if you want to watch the.
Well, and I still have some conscience about it. I've always been a little uncomfortable with what we do. In fact, I remember being accused a few times early on by mothers and other people of being a chicken hawk that was profiteering off of her son's
injuries and
soon to be brain damage,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I understood the position. And I said, ma'am, here's the thing. He's going to do it with or without me. And if I have one talent in this world, it's keeping my guys safe.
Right.
And that I will say for myself. When guys fought with me, they would go 4-5-0 as a pro. Then they would get big-headed and have to go somewhere else, and they'd lose their next 4 fights.
Yeah.
You know, what's the old line from Rocky G? Handpicked?
Handpicked.
No, they weren't handpicked. They
Yeah.
were tough fighters once, but they weren't killers.
Right. Yeah.
Not like this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
They're absolutely handpicked.
Yeah, they weren't setups.
They weren't setups, but they were absolutely handpicked, and I'm really good at it. I've got a guy right now. Great kid, well-rounded, kickboxing. He cross-trains with another gym, and he did 2 fights and lost. I said, "You want to win?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Good. Let me pick your next fight." Picks the next fight. Boom. Won.
That's the fight business.
Yeah.
All the amateur boxers do the same thing.
You got to know who you're fighting.
Yeah.
You got to pick.
And
based-
professional boxers, they have to build that 20-0 record with 19 knockouts.
But you got to pick it based on
That's
who
not
you
by
are.
accident.
No, it's not by accident.
Well, it's like you said in the other when you were talking about arm bursts versus triangles.
Chokes,
Yes.
You
Yeah.
and I aren't triangling anybody. We're
That's
lucky.
not true.
We're lucky if we
That's
can.
not true.
Well,
Even
I'm
those
saying
triangle
with maybe your size, but not a big guy.
Right.
Our legs are too short.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. It's
This
not
guy-
not that the skill's not there. It's that it physically isn't going to work. I mean, it's like trying to stay on the horse. It's
He's
not
some
gonna
type
work.
of like shapeshifter. Because I'll tell you, it was a while ago. It wasn't recently, but I was rolling him, and I was trying to pass his guard, and he had this little like inside thigh hook. And I'm like, oh, I'll just sprawl my leg back and go heavy hip and go around it. And that thing, I felt like his leg was 17 feet. Like I couldn't clear his hook. Obviously, it's technique, but my point is, he shapeshifts when he rolls. He will triangle you with those tiny little legs.
But everybody, and this is the only thing I teach my guys or the kids that come in is that you've got to play your game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some guys are muscle guys, some guys are not.
Yes.
We got a kid now. He's 17 years old. He's 6-0 in 3 competitions in a row, and he did it legit. Started novice, 1 novice. Put him in beginner, 1 beginner. He just won intermediate. 3 tournaments, 3 months. He's moved up every time.
That's awesome.
And the ref, and he's a sitter, and he sits and he scoots.
Yeah.
And the ref goes, "I'm going to have to give the other guy points." I go, "Give him as many points as you want."
Right. Yeah.
Because in about 30 seconds,
It's
that's not
going
going
to
to
be
matter.
over.
Finish him. Right.
Next
Yes.
match, same ref. He goes, "Should I give him the points now?" I go, I can give him 25 points
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Because trust me, watch
The
this.
finish is the finish is
The
coming.
The D-boy ankle lock's coming.
Yeah,
and
right.
This is all going to be over very quickly. And it was.
Yeah.
5-round war or first round finish?
Depends on the level of the fight. If it is a Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo first round, always more exciting.
Of course.
If it's 2 guys I don't know, then you want to watch a longer one. Yeah.
We'll ask one final one, and then we'll get to the big announcement. Would you rather fight 100 rat-sized horses or 1 horse-sized rat?
Oh, that's easy.
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 Yeah. I don't like rats. The only thing I hate more than
like
rats,
rats.
the only thing I hate more than rats are bugs. If you made it a bug, I'm out of there. I can't.
So are you.
Same. Get that thing off me.
My wife hates snakes, and they don't bother me.
Hey,
at
all of it. All of it. This
Snakes
guy thinks
don't-
he's a snake wrangler.
Yeah, snakes don't
I am a
bother
snake
me.
wrangler.
Mice don't bother me much. When I was in college, we were so poor. We would lay in the beanbag chair. We played the Cheeto game. And you'd lay in the beanbag chair with the lights out with a Cheeto in each hand, and whoever could get the mice to come up and take the Cheeto out of your hand first won. It was kind of a big deal.
The
But,
Cheeto game.
but
I'm not playing that game.
bugs bother me.
No, bugs bother me too. But man, that's the easiest question ever. First of all, if the horses are small,
Yeah, the
I
size of a
could take
rat.
care of 100 of them. Because first of all, they don't have like fangs. They're horses. You didn't say 100 rats. You said 100 rat-sized
Rat-sized
horses.
horses, yeah.
Then they're going to have those little tiny horse teeth. I'm kicking those things left and right. But you give me a horse-sized rat, that thing could take over Pittston. You understand what I'm saying?
I
You need
understand what you're saying.
helicopters
Yeah.
and the military to come in.
My daughter had a horse for a while, man. That thing used to scare the hell out of me. She was younger,
going.
and then they are huge.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I
an
don't
Kicking
animal.
all 100 of those
That's an animal that
rat-sized
I'm
horses.
like, people are like, oh, yeah, I own horses. I'm this. I'm like, you're nuts.
I
man.
love horses.
That is a massive
I don't even like big,
animal.
I don't even like big dogs, and horses just scare the hell out of me.
I like big dogs
And
and horses.
she would go and clean the stables and whatnot. I was just so afraid that she was going to get kicked by this thing.
Yeah.
For so long.
When I went to the state police academy, we had to take care of them.
Yeah.
And those horses, they know if you're a cadet or if you're a trooper.
And
they know the difference, and they'll mess with you.
And they're the big boys too.
Oh yeah, they'll mess with you.
Those aren't these little riding ponies.
No. They're built for battle.
Clydesdales.
And I'll tell you what, I loved them. I wasn't, I grew up in the streets. I'm not from the country. I never, like, the only time I've ever rode a horse was because you have to, one day they make you ride the horses in the academy. Yeah. Just so you have a respect for them. But you take care of them the whole 7 months you're there, 6 to 7 months that you're there, and I developed an affinity for them. They're beautiful creatures, powerful creatures, and man, I just went to the Kentucky Derby. It's impressive.
Well, the power is exactly the problem. I don't like anything being that much stronger than I am, and you get close to those things, you're like, wow,
You can feel the power.
gonna lose this thing.
You realize how insignificant we are as a species.
Yes,
like
how
as far as
fragile.
strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
My wife made me
Good
ride.
thing we have
one-
this, or we'd be done, son.
We were in Virginia Beach about a year or two ago. My wife wanted to go horseback riding, and I was petrified.
I think I would
Absolutely,
do it. I think I would do it.
I mean, it was one of those toured things.
Of course, you'd be
things
fine.
running around, but I was just scared to death of being up on this thing. I was like, oh God, I hate this.
Yeah, no.
I like horses.
I'll stay firmly planted on the ground.
Which one are you fighting?
Oh, the rat-sized horses.
Of
You know,
course.
that's like,
Kick 'em.
like, you want to fight 100 kindergartners? Sure, fight them. Give them bats. Like whatever. So let's close out here, Nick. We have some news to share with people.
Yeah.
We do.
Exciting.
And I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate the consideration. So, as we were talking about earlier, I'm going to be trying to take my gym into a new direction, where we kind of have not two different schools within the same school, but really delineate our programs. And in order to do that, I think I've got the no-gi side covered.
Right.
I mean, my son has now established himself to the point where I've got enough credibility.
Yes.
That nobody questions anything, et cetera. I've got a couple black belts on the gi side who are very interested in being able to continue to advance and to move up and to learn and to train. And while they are wonderful, they've kind of plateaued with each other. There's only so much you can do. So Jeff and I met a couple weeks ago, and I threw out to him the idea of becoming a new affiliate with our gi program, to be affiliated with you guys. And he's graciously indicated that it's something he'd be in favor of. So
Yep.
I'm excited. I've not told anybody other than the two black belts that I have that train gi down there. I've not told them anything about it. And as I said to him, I don't think I could have made them happier than when I told them I was thinking about this, because obviously 18 months ago there was talk of me closing this thing down.
Right.
I mean, if my son's not, I built this for my son and around my son, and if he's not here, I ain't doing it.
Right. Of course.
But if he's going to be there and carry on the no geek program, and surprisingly to me, or perhaps it shouldn't have been, when I mentioned it to Dylan, he actually said, well, would he be agreeable to get into the no-gi side as well? I said, I'm sure he would. And I said, I'm surprised you would want that. He goes, no, it's perfect. Because now when they ask me for belts, I can tell them, no, you have to ask Jeff.
That's right.
And Jeff can say no, and I can stay the good guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He goes, because I know they ain't passing his test.
Right, yeah.
He goes, they may know all my nonsense, but they're not passing that test.
Yeah, when you told me that, I chuckled. It was just funny because we do that a lot of times where you push the blame off on somebody else. Well, they said no, so
Well,
you get to remain the good guy.
He doesn't have a curriculum.
Right.
He roll. The only way he teaches is he rolls with you,
Yes.
and he knows when you're good enough.
Right.
And when you're good enough, he hands you a belt.
Sure.
That's how he does it.
Yeah.
There's no show me this, show me
Right.
that.
Yes.
If you can do it, he gives it to you. But no. So if you're still game, I'm still
Oh yeah,
game. I think it's a
we're
great
pushing
idea.
forward. I mean,
Yeah.
the Seven Nation Army keeps getting stronger and stronger, and to just add more people to the team that are so well established.
Yes.
And have a great reputation within.
And we
I mean,
always had,
it's a
and all, the two
no-brainer.
gyms always had a great relationship.
Yeah.
Always.
And it makes sense. Like I said, I mean, Scott and John developed this gi program, and I'm really thankful for doing it. Admittedly, I have nothing to do with it. I don't own a gi. I don't go on gi night. I just don't get it. But they have a real following. I mean, I think they get, which in our town is impressive. They get between, 8 to 15, sometimes 18 guys a night, all with the gi on.
Yeah.
And they really run it. They run it the way, at least from my observation, you run your sessions.
Right.
There's a warm up, and there's drills, and there's training, and there's levels, and there's this and that, and there's attendance, and we want to see you coming, et cetera. Whereas, well, D-Boys one class we just called Death Row.
Yeah,
Right, of course.
Yeah.
D-Boys Death Row. You
Yeah.
come in and shake hands.
Yeah.
We don't show you anything.
Right. No.
And if you live, you go
Survival
home.
of the fittest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You know, and you know what I love about what we have curated, and we call it the Seven Nation Army. You know, you have Apex, you have Gracie, you have
Bad
Company, you have 570, you have Silver Dragon, you have Twin Dragon. Like you have teams, and now Rat Pack. We're all separate teams and separate nations that are working towards a goal of everybody being better.
and
now I get the opportunity to be the figurehead.
Sure.
You know, people look to me for the advice and stuff, and I take that with a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
and I know most of those guys you've listed, and I've always had it was Scotty's place and and Tyler.
Yeah,
and I mean they've all competed on my shows. I've known them all for years.
Yep.
D-Boys come up through the circuit with most of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's fantastic. I'm really excited about it, and it's going to afford me a little more of the opportunity to step out of this thing and say, look, you guys got this.
Yeah.
Scott, John, Jeff, you've got the gi side running. D-Boy, do whatever you want on the no gi. Because like I said, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. My rent, my old place was $1,300 a month for the electric bill. My whole place now, we've never turned the heat on because it's an interior unit.
Right. Yeah.
It's never gone below 62 in there.
Right.
We literally have never turned heat on in the entire place because it's such a small unit. I think, I don't know what my company charges the gym, but if he had 7 guys, all the bills are paid.
Yeah.
And all the bills are paid. That's all we care about. So anything over that is cake. So no, I think it'd be awesome. And actually, I was noticing the other day, both of my signs outside are completely faded, and they're no longer accurate because they say we still do kids. I haven't done kids since COVID, and not going to do it again. So I'm going to at some point get them redone. I'd like to, throw the affiliation on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We've already got you on the website, though we haven't told anybody, so nobody's really gone to look at it.
Yeah, this is the first time we're announcing it in public. Yeah.
Now that
Chuck knew. I mean, Chuck. I discuss everything with Chuck. So.
Now that it's official, we'll blow that up more and kind of link the sites and everything else, and then really get some cross training started and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the official announcement is that Rat Pack Fighting Systems, the gi program of the Rat Pack Fighting Systems, is now an official affiliate of the Gracie NEPA 7 Nation Army. Correct?
That is correct.
All right. That's it.
Nice.
That's it right
Very
there. We couldn't be happier. Like I said, both teams have been, had a ton of respect for each other the whole time.
Which means I have to change my slogan, which was always unaffiliated and unapologetic.
There you go.
And
Now you can just be unapologetic.
Yeah, and affiliated.
That was after I left the Brazilians.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother story.
Right. Well, we could do a part 2.
Oh yeah, part 2 on that one, and I'll have to. They'll send a hit squad after me, but that's okay. If they didn't do it then, they're not going to do it.
They're not going to do it now.
We got some Brazilians too. Don't forget.
I think my actual line was, "You guys understand? I'm Italian. We invented strong arming, right?
Yeah.
The mafia's been doing this.
I don't know how this goes.
The mafia's been doing this a lot longer than you guys have. You're not going to pressure me into this,
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if the people that watch the video podcast can tell if Nick and I are Italian. And that Jeff isn't. But I don't know if you could, what settings your color is on your television, but there is a clear distinction on this screen.
You're like me, though. You can pass for a lot of different things.
Of course, yeah.
Except
Jeff cannot.
I cannot. No.
Yeah, we can pass for everything except him.
Exactly right.
Regular white guy.
That is not.
I don't do that.
That is not a setting on your screen. Jeff is a lot lighter than us.
My wife always laughs whenever we go to ethnic neighborhoods. They always start speaking whatever language they speak. They always speak it to me.
Right.
It could be Yiddish. It could be. It could be. So I get everything. Hispanic. Middle Eastern, Jewish.
I've gotten all the same.
Never
things.
gotten Irish.
No, never.
I don't think either of you ever
Polish,
will.
Irish, none of that.
I don't think
none of that.
either of you ever will. Well, Nick, thank you so much, man,
Thank
for
you,
taking
guys.
time out of your extremely busy
awesome.
schedule.
It's an honor.
awesome.
It's an honor. It really is.
Yeah,
I've been
can't
looking
wait.
forward to it.
Yeah.
And,
Can't wait for the partnership.
Nothing I like more than shooting the old stories with guys that know them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's so rare these days. And nobody on my end wants to hear it anymore. They're tired of the story.
Right.
You know, so, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah.
Very good, man.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Nick,
guys.
Thanks for coming, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it.
you.
Appreciate it.
All
Chuck,
right.
as always, you
That's
gonna leave
it.
me hanging?
Boom. No, never.
No. All right, guys, we're out. Enjoy your day.
All right. Peace.